Another award-winning, thought-provoking, action-packed edition of the Tony Basilio Show is coming up next. Tips are always appreciated here at TonyBasilio.com, home of the Tony Basilio Show. You found the Tony Basilio stream at TonyBasilio.com or on your smartphone or tablet. Another thrilling, chilling, and sometimes spilling edition of the Basilio Show is on the way next. Tips are always appreciated here at TonyBasilio.com.
Listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340.
Let's go.
WKGN Knoxville and W289CU Knoxville. Fan Run Radio.
TB in the house. Matt Diskin's going to be covering. I had him doing double duty in the blog today. Because in my alleged mind, I thought the Vols played today, but they play tomorrow in hoops. But Tennessee's in action today in baseball. Matt Diskin, am I imagining things, or was it absolutely brutally cold right up till baseball season started? And God smiled right on the mighty Gators, as Steve Spurrier used to say.
Yeah, we hadn't had very good weather for about a month. And
yeah.
I mean, it's about a perfect day Friday afternoon for the season opener. Couldn't have asked for better weather. And the fans turned out.
Oh. And today, Matt, we get to see one of the great, maybe, transfers in the history of the school in any sport, this kid. This kid's going to be insane this year, isn't he, Matt? What kind of pitcher is he? Blaine Brown.
I think he actually pitched against Tennessee in one of that tournament in Houston last year and didn't do very well. Mm-hmm. But got the mid to upper 90s fastball, which is always plays as a lefty arm. So I'm really curious how they approach him, if as a legitimate two-way guy, because you're not taking his bat out of the lineup based on that first weekend.
Berkey thinks
pretty incredible.
Berkey thinks he's the college Ohtani, though.
2.0, yeah.
Who did Berkey used to call the college
Jack Caglione from Florida.
Who went on and was pretty good in the major leagues, right, last year?
I don't think he's made the majors yet.
Oh, that's right, Berkey. The college Ohtani, Berkey.
Yeah, he made the majors. He just didn't. I don't think he really showed out yet.
He's not a pitcher anymore.
Berkey, I love you. Berkey, I love you. Baseman. I love you, Berkey. But, man, you have a way of hyperbole and blowing things out of and blowing things out of proportion. And Berkey, you're a clown. All right,
Tony,
let's get to it. We have a lot to talk about today.
Tony, you're accusing somebody of using hyperbole?
Yeah, I sure am.
I have to apologize to you, Tony. I'll do it on air because I was driving over here and we were talking and about personal type stuff and humanity, and I was saying, I need to do a better job of looking for the
good in people.
And you said, what do you think of me?
Well, I said, what do you see in me? Since you're looking for the good in people now.
No, you said, what do you think of me?
Because you're turning over a new leaf. You're looking for the good. You were talking about it.
And you said, what do you think of me?
And what did you say?
Nut job. I just blurted it out. I mean, it just popped into my head. And then you said, okay, I'll see you in a minute, and hung up. I laughed so much, I laughed the rest of the way driving over here.
So here we are, live in the Rainier studio. Adams has already been popped by me today. He'll pop me before the day's over. Tony Vitello, I got to admit, Matt, he popped me. Matt, what is Vitello? Because I got to talk to John about just dealing with people in the media and what in San Francisco must be going through their alleged mind. Here's a guy, it's a major league manager. Okay? First of its kind. And Vitello basically introduces this and begins the day, Matt, looking at this woman and saying the following. When do you first remember that I was taking this job? Do you remember that far back? And the reporter answered, this is at a press gaggle. This is the beginning of spring training. Everybody's reporting. This is supposed to be an everybody's undefeated day, a perfunctory deal. So-and-so looks good. I want to get a look at these kids. A lot of people are going to play. Yada, yada, yada. And what's Vitello doing? He's literally... When did he leave? Do you guys remember? When was that? What month was that?
October. Wasn't it?
Was it really?
I thought it was the week of the Kentucky game.
Okay.
Before they played Kentucky.
That was October.
Late October.
He says, the reporter answered about 4 or 5 days before it actually happened, maybe 5 days. And Vitello goes, yeah, it's funny you'd say that because that was not reality, at all. I don't know if Buster would feel the same way, but that wasn't the case. Somebody decides they think they got information. The final blow was about 4 days later, and the thing I'm having a conversation, therapy, if you will. Walking out there, I needed confirmation from the coaches that I worked with who helped boost my status that they were okay with what was going on and was going to be okay with the job, and so he goes on with the same reporter, that staff that has always been built as next man up, and then all of a sudden, all that was being threatened. It was kind of hard to do something yourself, and your teammates get left behind, but yeah, it was not in 4 days, for what it's worth. That was not the case at all. If you would have seen me in that condo, you would have agreed. Another reporter then asked him why he asked that question, which led to Vitello saying the following. Because if someone tweeted it out, and I don't know who told them, but I wished I did, it might have changed the course of history if I did. Now, Tony, I love you. What are you, Martin Luther King? Change the course of history?
I know. I read that and I thought it's like JFK assassination or something.
I mean, what are we doing?
But this is so Tony. Tony says what's on his mind.
What is this guy doing? And then he goes on to say, but it just bothers me because I don't know. I hate to get psychosocial, whatever that means, but you see people angry on the streets for a lot of stuff that a lot of time isn't true. Huh? And then he goes on to say, people arguing and you don't know what reality is. I did a damn good job keeping that away from our team, our recruiting. And it was not a distraction. And then all of a sudden, we're in the middle of practice, and I see our first and third base coach freaking out, and they freaked out on me. And for no reason, because at that point, nothing was going to happen. But somebody decided it was going to happen. And then the world starts spinning real quick. And I had to address the team and the people. Either that, with me leaving, was a distraction. Those guys are SEC athletes. It wasn't a distraction. We deal with years that we thought we might take a job or we were offered a job, and I'd meet with the guys in the office, and they'd be like, Coach, we don't care. The guys care about the guys when the season's going on, but hopefully they love the coaches. That thing was never a distraction. They got talent. They got good kids, so they'll be just fine. But that was not a fun Saturday. It affected the next few days. Sorry to rain on your parade, but great organization, great people to work with, and a great challenge. So they didn't say no. What? First of all, Tony looked so despondent in that video, so miserable already. Why is he trying something from October at the beginning of spring training? And if you're in the Giants organization, John, how concerned are you about that?
Well, you would be concerned because this is an introductory, for some people, an introductory meeting for a new era of Giants baseball. This is the major leagues. And for a coach to be talking about the college team that he coached just seems like, what? Why is he talking? What? Yeah, and I'm sure it blindsided the media because they're just trying to figure it out. Why is he saying this? Like the question. But Tony is, he expresses himself. He's not afraid to say things. We know that from dealing with him here, and that's why it was so great to deal with. He doesn't self-edit. He doesn't self-edit. If he's thinking about something, he just throws it out there. I love dealing with the guy. He's great, and he's has great people skills. But he's never been in. He's thinking about how important this is to him, and his legacy at Tennessee is very important to him. I mean, that's where he made it big. That's where he became a major league manager. If not for Tennessee, he wouldn't be a major league. So that's all important to him, and the people are important to him, his coaches, his players. He thinks about all these kind of things.
You know what it reminds me of? That Glenn Campbell song, Country Boy. Country Boy, you got your feet in San Fran, but your heart and your mind's on Tennessee. That's what he's doing. Matt, could it be that he sat there and watched those guys in that new ballpark? Because you know he was looking at it and thinking, damn it, I got tricked into taking this job. That's what it feels like, which is a really stupid and myopic thing for me to say. To act like Major League Baseball, the San Francisco job, like the Tennessee baseball job would compare to that. But that is so strange that he's accusing somebody of leaking that story, thus putting him into a corner, so he had to take the Giants job. That's what he's saying, Matt. Is that not the strangest? This place is really weird. That's one of the weirdest things I've ever seen. I'm sorry, that's just bizarre.
No, I mean it was an odd thing to do, but Vitale is really unique, and he's kind of a one-of-one guy and coach, really. So I just kind of think he was just kind of said what was on his mind right then, and for whatever reason, that's what he wanted to bring up and talk about. So he was out there fielding ground balls and spring training, and which is I don't think any other managers do stuff like that either. So
that was unlike any opening season press conference you'll ever hear in Major League Baseball, because he's talking about something that happened like October. October's the World Series. October is the Dodgers month. That's the Giants' big rivalry. And so imagine, I wonder what the Dodgers organization thought about that. I mean, these teams are in the same division. They have this great history going back to New York together. And they're saying, okay, this is the guy we're competing against. I mean, the Dodgers are like the franchise in sports right now, and here's the manager of the Giants, their competition, talking about his days in college baseball, they can't even relate to that. I wonder what his players thought about it, because this is a time. I mean, think the story, and I wouldn't have been surprised if Vitello would have said this. He says, address that rivalry in this press conference and say, yeah, the Dodgers are number one.
It would have made more sense.
The Dodgers are number. We're coming after them.
If it would have
because that fits his personality. He's going to take that challenge. He's going after the Dodgers.
You're the columnist in that town, okay? And a guy just said, if somebody in this organization leaked that I was taking this job, I would have stayed at Tennessee. What would you have written the next day? Because that's what he said. And you guys know I love Tony, and I love him because he's kind of wacky. That's wackier than wacky. That's insane. That's not the way to start your tenure with the San Francisco Giants. That's like coming out there and saying, I am now a hostage. I am miserable AF here, and I need somebody to get me out of here. Can I please have my old job back?
Comparables when Rick Barnes said that he would have been gone had UCLA got his buyout money. It's sort of similar to that.
Brian, that's a good stick. Things you just don't say into a microphone to a fan base. That's one of them.
Well, imagine. You might. I don't know if you remember this. This is going way back, 45 years or so. Notre Dame hired Jerry Faust as its coach.
Yeah,
he was a dominant high school coach at Cincinnati Moeller.
Yeah,
I mean they had, but Notre Dame hiring a high school coach. What if Jerry Faust in his introductory press conference started talking about Cincinnati Moeller and how great it was and how he didn't like the way the story leaked that he was leaving Moeller? That's kind of what you would have had.
Here's the reality, too. He's already a college coach that has to prove himself, and he has zero credibility with those people in that locker room. And I love Tony, but he knows this. How in the world do you get credibility trying when something leaked 6 months later? What are you doing, Tony?
Okay, but here's something else to think about. As Matt said, Tony's one of one. Everybody's he's so different in his approach.
Yeah.
But Tony connects with people, and he has a great ability to do that.
Yeah.
And he will do that with those players. That they will see after they've been around Tony a while, they will have more clarity with what he said. They realize, well, this guy just says what he thinks. This guy speaks from the heart. I think he will connect with players, even at the major league level. He connects with people in general.
Yeah.
And even though as odd as his press conference was, I don't think it will affect him. I think he is going to connect with players there. Now, administrative types, they're probably shaking their head because some administrative types don't get that kind of human approach to stuff, the speaking from the heart type stuff.
No, Buster Posey's going to manage him. Danny White never managed Tony. Danny let him run amok. It's what Tony got used to doing. Tony was more powerful than anybody over there. Tony was kind of the show at UT. I think he was the biggest personality might have been the biggest sports personality in the state when he was here, John.
I think he was the biggest sports personality since, now Bruce Pearl was pretty big in his time.
Yeah.
And I think, Bruce, Tony, there were similarities there. Yeah. And then you go back to Pat Summitt. Tennessee has had some big personalities.
Oh, yeah.
When you think about it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you've had so much turnover over a period of time now with so many different coaches coming in and out, mediocre results, that kind of thing, that you don't think about that because, the Butch Joneses, Jeremy Pruitt, and all these people that just wandered through here. But
when I got here, Majors was he was a huge personality.
He was.
But he was also a guy that split people because he was he had a I don't care thing about him too. He was like, I'm a big star. I was like the Heisman Trophy winner. Everybody knows I won it, even though I didn't. I'm from the first family of this deal, right? And that's how he carried himself. He sort of carried. Majors kind of carried himself like he was like a boxing champion. Like, I still got the belt. I've got an aura about me.
And you know what?
Yeah.
I think he projected that image, and I think people bought into it. And
Yes.
I think that's why he was able to, because his opening act was horrible. Tennessee's really struggled. It was a time of great transition, the recruiting of black athletes and all. It was very different. But I think people believed in Johnny Majors in part because they saw how he believed in himself. And granted, he had just won a national title at Pittsburgh, and so his confidence was not shaken by that struggling start. I mean, he was a big deal. Think about it. And even going further back, and a lot of people couldn't relate to this now, but Ray Mears.
Yep.
Ray Mears was a big personality. And so Tennessee has had more than its share of these types. I mean, Bruce Pearl was, gosh, he took this town by storm, what he did with Tennessee basketball. People don't remember because Tennessee's had long-term success. But then the epic turnaround was Tony. And Tony, you know, he carried himself too like, yeah, I'm the guy. But he didn't relate to people that way. He related to people the way Pat Summitt did, one-on-one, and that was such an endearing quality. So he's fascinating. He's a fascinating person, and one of the really, when you look at all the sports you deal with, and not just here. I mean, I've been around it.
He's very unique.
I could, conversations I had with him. I can't remember any other coach, just a couple that I could have really talked to. When I interviewed him, it was like a conversation.
Very unique. And he would tell you exactly what was on his mind.
Yeah. But
privately.
Yeah. But see, I think when he gets those Giants players, when he talks to them, when they meet with him one-on-one, there's a connection.
No way. He's a college coach to them. No way.
I disagree.
I disagree. I think
there's still people.
He looked totally miserable yesterday. He's going to be a short-term guy in that deal. He looked like he's in a hostage video, and I love him. I don't know what he's trying to do. If I was talking to him today, hey, what'd you think of that? What are you trying to do? Are you trying to get run off from there? I mean, what are you doing? You got the job. You took the job. You got the job. What are you doing? I mean, that's my question.
Okay.
I'm 100% for. What are you doing? If you were writing in that town today, you would have written, what is this guy doing? Why were you even talking about that? Well, I'm here to talk about the Giants, not the University of Tennessee. That's a small pond. Nobody freaking cares about
in San Francisco
and the University of Tennessee. We don't even know what orange is. What are you doing, man? Who leaked the story? You took the job. Nobody twisted your arm to take the job, and I love the guy.
Odd. I flipped the Tony Bennett song. I left my heart in San Francisco.
There you go.
San Francisco's new coach left his heart in Knoxville, Tennessee.
There you go.
That'd be my lead.
Country boy.
Then he takes two of his better staff members with him as if this is the place you want to be, the Major League, San Francisco. Frank Anderson, Q, come out with me.
Yep. And then
which also doesn't add up.
What are they thinking? They're watching that thing yesterday, and they're going, they've got to be behind the scenes going, Tony, what are you doing? Time and place. If you want to pull that lady aside and say, hey, let me ask you something. Now coaches do that all the time. Coaches are mad at you.
Sure.
I've gotten calls. You've gotten calls. Or you say something on the radio, whatever. They're mad at you. Hey, Tony, who told you that? And then you go, I'm not telling you that. I don't know what you're talking about.
And see, baseball is different from other sports. It's such a fraternal thing.
Yeah.
And you're in baseball, it's like a part of a giant family. no pun intended, but it's part of a big family. Even the beat reporters that cover major league teams, I mean, that's their life. It's so all-consuming. And so I think when you – so you're right. I think you can go to somebody because it's like we're in the same family.
Yeah.
And I didn't like what you said in that press conference or what you wrote in that story or what you said on the air, but because you follow – it's almost like everybody that covers baseball on a daily basis is kind of in love with the sport.
Uh-huh.
And so you say, like, what? Why did you write that? You have that conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you don't say it at a press conference.
Because a beat reporter, here's the other thing. A beat reporter is not going to report everything they know. They can't. And you'd lose your job. And so there's a line there, and you kind of walk that line. But when it's time to break a hard news story, somebody gets arrested for whatever.
Sure, you've got to do that.
You got to do your job, and those people all understand that. But this, and that's why I wanted to talk to John about this, because it's an interesting look-see into the way sports are shaped. Because what they're starting to do in the collegiate level is they're starting to take things in-house. I think you're going to see a day where they quit allowing press to come in, and they just disseminate what they disseminate. The Danny Whites of the world, they want to do it that way. They want to control their own information. They're telling people that. They want to control their own deal, and it's what they want to do.
And that's not just at Tennessee.
It's everywhere.
That's everywhere.
Yeah.
For example, Florida, University of Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Harry, good friend of mine, started out. First big job, I guess, was the Gainesville Sun. We have Kevin Brockway on here from time to time.
Yeah.
Kevin's kind of the Florida guy now. Covering, he's very knowledgeable about it. Chris Harry covered the Spurrier area. He goes on to cover works at Orlando Sentinel, covers Tampa Bay football, covers the NFL, and then he ends up back in Gainesville writing for Florida, the University of Florida's website. Mm-hmm. He's a very talented writer, very good. Mm-hmm. And I can see other programs doing that because they will give Chris access that other people don't have. They will get him a one-on-one with the quarterback.
What's University of Georgia doing? They're charging a paid tier now where if you pay this money, you can watch practice. Fans, you get like this access to all this stuff. That's the new. And if they can, they'll take the Adam Sparkses and they'll pull them right out of there and eradicate them if they can get away with that.
Well, I mean,
that's where we're going.
And the way they can eradicate them is they can hire them. I mean, you go back.
That's a great idea.
Even in the NFL, the teams have. Andrew Gribble was a reporter here.
I remember Andrew.
Yeah, very smart guy, very good writer, good reporter.
Yep.
He's been writing for years now for the Cleveland Browns website.
Wow.
And I had a friend way back.
Talk about sports purgatory.
Well, yeah, I mean he's got to use a light touch. It's a different form, but the fact is he's very talented, and so you can write stories that don't sound like a press release. You can do human stories. You can do feature profiles and things like that. But to do that kind of story, you've got to have access. You can't go to a press conference and ask a couple of questions. You've got to have this kind of access, and the schools can give it, because the schools now look at this as their product. It's the money-making product, and what's best for our business. So you're right.
So the one thing I want to. So we'll talk about. I just want to get the Tony thing out of the way in the A block because I don't understand what he was doing yesterday, and it's one of the strangest things I've ever seen. And people accuse me of being, you're Tony Sheep, and you. Look, I said what I said about that whole thing when it went down because it was the truth, and he really wasn't. He didn't have a relationship with his AD, so he was never really coached. Because AD should coach these guys. They should be like, hey, it's kind of like the Kim Caldwell thing, like what she said about her team. You should sit down with her next week, which Danny White, I understand, didn't do. But you should sit down with her and say, hey, you can't say things like that. And I'm going to be your, I'm your boss here. And go ahead.
Well, I'm just thinking, Vic Schaefer at Texas did the same thing.
Yeah, I know. They're all doing it.
But there's a difference. Because Vic Schaefer's been coaching for however long. Mm-hmm. He's been to a bunch of Final Fours, almost won a national title at Mississippi State. And he can say those kind of things. Kim Caldwell hasn't really proved herself at this level. It's different. But her team, I thought, responded to what she said. I don't want to get back on that tangent.
No, you're exactly right. And so Griff will be here in hour 2. We'll talk about that. Matt, we had a discussion yesterday about just the viability of doing a show after each and every basketball game and me reassessing that in a real honest way. And people were saying that, you're negative on here, Matt, which I've never thought of you being negative, because you say you give your opinion that this team is flawed and they have a ceiling. But I want you to respond to that when we come back on the other side at 865-200-5402. Marky Mark and the Lunchy Bunch will be by. I also want to talk about, I can't believe I'm saying this. I really cannot believe I'm saying this. The Big 12, the Big 20, whatever they are, the Big 10, that's 18 teams, the Big 18, I think they have a pretty good playoff idea with the 2014 playoff. I think it's better than what we currently have, and we'll discuss it. Because really, it's not far off from what we currently have. We'll talk about it as we continue on the other side after this. When it's time for your next move, you want to get your precious belongings from point A to point B with your peace of mind intact. That's why you need to call my friends at Gufon Moving and Storage, East Tennessee's moving legend. Gufon Moving and Storage has been helping East Tennesseans move since 1887. That's 138 years, 5 generations. That's even longer than the Dooley, Jones, and Pruitt era combined. Gufon Moving and Storage, pro movers, serving Knoxville, surrounding areas, and interstate moves too, both residential and commercial. And we'll provide you with personalized service that other corporate movers simply cannot. We know how to move all types of items. We pay careful attention to our clients' valuables. Your satisfaction as a customer is our absolute priority. As the oldest continually owned and operated family moving business in the United States, when it's time for your next move, it's Gufon Moving and Storage. And storage, it's secure and vaulted. Our newest offering of commercial storage logistics, we offer receiving, storage, and delivery services for all your business logistic needs. See more at Gufon.com. That's Gufon.com. Or check out the link at tclub.team. When it's time for your next move, East Tennessee's moving legend, Gufon Moving and Storage. Life never stops moving. And between the 30-minute commutes, daycare pickups, weekly soccer practice, Tuesday night yoga, X number of coffee runs, and that weekend trip to Grandma's, you're racking up the miles. What you need is a tire that can keep up. A tire designed for doers. A tire that's going to last. Like the exceptionally long-lasting Michelin Defender tire. With an 80,000-mile warranty and the safety and comfort you expect, you can forget all about the miles ahead and focus on getting to your destination or conquering your to-do list. Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. That's Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. Fleet Tire.
Inward Half is committed to the game and the memorable moments that happen in between. From the tee box to the tailgate, from the green to the big game. For the first birdie with Dad, the first big win with Mom. Friday night lights, Saturday superstitions, Sunday traditions. Fall into the comfort and unparalleled performance of Inward Half. This fall, enjoy the walk-in.
Are you tired of hiding your smile because of crooked teeth? At Knoxville Smiles, we've got the perfect solution. Invisalign. No metal, no wires, just clear, comfortable aligners that straighten your teeth without anyone noticing. Eat what you want, smile with confidence, and see results in as little as 6 months. Call us today for more information about Invisalign, 865-539-1776, or just visit us online at KnoxvilleSmiles.com. Smile brighter with Knoxville Smiles.
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. From Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham, they've stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. There are neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Cold weather is here. Is your heating system ready and running efficiently? Don't wait to find out. A simple tune-up now can help prevent costly breakdowns when you need your heat the most. Right now, PipeWrench is offering a $79 heating system tune-up to keep your home warm, safe, and worry-free all winter long. Our certified technicians inspect, clean, and fine-tune every part of your heating system for maximum efficiency and comfort, helping you avoid surprise breakdowns and high energy bills. And with PipeWrench Home Service's same-day service guarantee, you won't be left out in the cold waiting for help. Your comfort isn't just our job, it's our promise. Schedule your $79 heating system tune-up today at PipeWrench.com before winter decides to test your heater. PipeWrench Home Services, trusted in Knoxville, Maryville, Oak Ridge, and neighboring communities for over 20 years. And as always, same-day service guaranteed or the visit is free. For standard systems only, visit PipeWrench.com for details.
TB here with Alan of WeShipFloors.com. Tell them about it, Alan.
Hey, I'm Alan from WeShipFloors.com. Our competition's prices, well, they're going up. Ours are coming down. Our waterproof floor Supercore is the best, and right now it starts at $199 a square foot. Our warehouses are full of 4mm, 6mm, and 8mm. You strapped for cash? Well, we have our own in-house financing. Use our room visualizer and order some free samples today. Supercore from WeShipFloors.com. Best products at best price.
Like Alan said, head over to WeShipFloors.com. Use the room visualizer on the website. Drop in any of the 120 Supercore floors virtually into your room and order your free samples today. WeShipFloors.com. Tennesseans, they are us. The best product, the best price. WeShipFloors.com. Living Vol fan, when it's time to get ready for 2026 and what's ahead, there's only one place. It's Alumni Hall, the best and largest selection of Tennessee apparel for the whole family. Top brands, Nike, Champion, Columbia, Peter Millar. And check this out. All the basketball stuff that the Tennessee basketball fan could ever need. Some great Tennessee baseball stuff as well. Any season, any reason. Alumni Hall, 3 locations in Knoxville. Also Murfreesboro, Bristol, and now open, of course, in Johnson City. And anytime online, alumnihall.com. Say it loud, say it proud. The ultimate volunteer shopping experience. Alumni Hall. Score a TD every time with T3 Vodka. T3 is Tennessee's premium vodka, handcrafted with passion, precision, and a whole lot of pride. T3 Vodka is taking the volunteer state by storm. T3 Vodka, handcrafted in the majesty of the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains, where quality isn't just a promise, it's a way of life. Filtered 10 times and 80 proof, T3 Vodka delivers a smoothness that's unmatched. This dedication to excellence has already earned T3 Vodka prestigious accolades. T3 is a 5-time gold medal winning vodka and the 2025 SIPS Consumer Choice Award medal winner. Whether you're sipping it neat or on the rocks or mixing up your favorite cocktail, T3 Vodka is your choice for a premium, award-winning experience. Score a T3 TD and ask for T3 Vodka by name at restaurants and wine and liquor stores today. Drink it neat, drink it right, drink T3 Vodka and score a touchdown every time. T3, Tennessee's premium vodka. Please drink responsibly. TB back with you, 865-200-5402. John with a really good point. Tennessee adds Penn State's DB coach. It's official now. They've got a defensive line coach from there. They've got the coordinator from there. They've got the linebackers coach from there. Is there one more, or is that 3?
They've got 4, I think.
4?
Yeah. It's Penn State defense.
Yep.
Nittany Lions.
Along with like 5 former players from Penn State as well. So away you go.
Nico probably said, is there any way we can schedule Tennessee now?
Oh, yeah. Whatever. I'd take Nico in the squared circle right now.
42 points.
Matt, what's going to happen in the Joey Aguilar thing? I want your honest expert legal opinion, and then I'm going to talk about this playoff deal.
I think he'll probably be granted it. I think he's going to be Tennessee's quarterback next fall or this fall.
John,
I think he's going to get it.
Does it happen today, John? While we're on the air, some people are saying it's going to happen right away.
I think it will. Yeah, I think.
Really?
Yes. Because the judge said, what's the point of prolonging this? And
well, if you're a Vol fan, you want to wait about 6 weeks.
They're not doing that.
Because that way the NCAA gets very little time to
they'll
kick it up and appeal.
No matter when this decision comes out, I think they'll be able to tie this thing up in court. Todd, I just... The wheels of justice turn very slowly.
That's what Marquios was saying.
And, I think Aguilar will be Tennessee's quarterback. And you know what? I guess Blake Topmeyer and I were talking about this on our SEC podcast. You look at this 2 ways. This seems kind of absurd to have a 25-year-old guy playing quarterback. These guys not leaving. And the NCAA always losing in court. But in terms of just watching the games, Trinidad Chambliss, Ole Miss's quarterback, I thought was one of the most fun players to watch in college football last year.
And he's an old guy, to your point.
Yeah, and he's coming back.
Yeah.
And what it accentuates now is the value of experience. And also age. The human brain isn't fully developed till about 25. Yeah. You were an idiot at 24, Tony. And look how bright you are now.
It's interesting you talk about what you talk about, because we were talking about Stephen Pearl yesterday and how we kind of joke about how when he was here he was kind of an unlikable kind of kid. But now he's a man. And we still judge him for what he did when he was a kid, and it's really not fair to him. Because it's true. Like if I was to look at John Adams at the age of 18, and that that follows you all through life, that's not fair to John Adams.
But I was kind of an exception, though. Go ahead, let's move on. But Trinidad Chambliss, I love that watching that guy play. I mean, look what he did. I mean, he's the great example of how one guy a quarterback can just lift a program. And Joey Aguilar can't do what he did, but I think Tennessee will be so much better with him back at quarterback. I know you don't agree, and so I think that's the 24-year-old Tony thinking.
Hey, Matt, does Trinidad Chambliss and Aguilar, right? It's 2 ways of looking at it from my perspective. Because, yeah, John's right. But really, they're taking opportunities from younger people. Well, that's going to be Matt. That's the drawback to the sport. But it does make the sport better.
But the younger
it does make the sport better.
In the long run, it could help the younger person because he will have more time to develop. Physically, too. God, my voice almost went up to a higher pitch. What's going on there? When you think about it, some of these guys that go into the NFL, they're not just not ready mentally. They had a couple more years build up body armor, muscle.
What do you think, Matt Dixon? Good thing, bad thing? These veteran guys hanging on. Because really, they're hanging on for a paycheck. That's what they're doing. I don't blame them.
Well, yeah.
I mean, overall, I don't think you need to be, in college playing football for 6 or 7 years, regardless of whether it was a JUCO or wherever or in red shirts. Like there should be a limit. And you need that. You need that. Like, I think it's silly that all these guys are doing it.
Yep.
But if somebody else is doing it, you need to take advantage too. I mean, nobody was saying all this about Pavia last year when he was, doing all that he did and finishing second for the Heisman. Nobody was saying he took an opportunity away from somebody. It was Vandy took advantage of what the rules are, or the lack of rules and guardrails right now. So, if you're Tennessee, if you're Ole Miss, anybody, if you can do that and do it through court, take advantage and try to win. Ole Miss is a legitimate playoff contender with Trinidad Chambliss, and I'm not sure they're even a bowl team without him.
I agree with
kind of like Pavia last year. If you
I agree
Pavia,
with that.
There goes my voice. If you took Pavia off this team, off last year's Vanderbilt team, what's her record? And you just inserted like a replacement level player. Yeah, I think that's right, Matt.
Yeah, and
he had a 5.
It's
had
not
a 5-win.
It's not the old Vanderbilt, but it's close. You could make a strong argument that nobody in SEC football history did as much for a program as Diego Pavia did. And I tell you what, I look at it very selfishly.
Yeah.
Like with Trinidad Chambliss. Man, I like that guy watching. I like watching that guy play. All the quarterbacks Ole Miss has had through the years, some really good ones. Jackson Dart was great. Matt Corral was good. Going way back there, but Eli Manning. But Trinidad Chambliss, more than any of them, reminds me of Archie Manning. He had that ability to just lift up a team. Chambliss can scramble.
Oh, yeah.
He can throw on the
nice
run.
Player.
Yeah, and he's got that. He's just got those football instincts. Guy came out of nowhere. But you know what? I would be fine if Diego Pavia played at Vanderbilt for 10 years.
So,
did you hear me?
Somebody said that we're wrong about this Derek Jones guy. He never coached at Penn State. I got that from you. I'm sorry.
No,
you're throwing me under the bus.
No.
Where'd he coach?
He coached at Virginia Tech.
Oh.
But he coached with the defensive coordinator at Penn State. It's the same system.
Where'd he coach with him? At Ohio State or?
There's a connection there.
I'm just trying to think about what we're doing here.
No, I'm
trusting you.
No,
all right, let's go. Let's go. So we
it's your show. It's your show. You're responsible for the content.
That's true.
Okay,
that's true. Let's go back. One other thing. Jay Bird says veterans taking spots from young guys is the nature of pro sports, which is what college football is now. Actually, no, it's not. In college sports, it's young players taking jobs from veteran players who become too expensive. You kind of got that wrong. What these coaches are doing, though, is, like John said, I know that a 25-year-old man is going to beat an 18-year-old or a 19-year-old at the point of attack in the sport of football. So a Pavia out there running around at the age of 25 is going to run over a 19-year-old. So, Jay Bird, you're kind of close, except you're exactly kind of bass-ackwards there, buddy. But you're close.
Do you really think you should admonish your listeners that way?
Well, I mean, I just had a guy tell me I'm always wrong, this thing about Jones and, so.
Well, you do need to guard your content probably a little more carefully.
2014 proposal, I want to get into this, then we'll talk about it later on. I think this is a better system than what we currently have. What do we currently have? We have a 12-team system where we expose the best teams at the end of the year with frivolous playoff games, which are conference championship games that make absolutely zero sense, that are just money grabs and a complete waste of time. The 2014 playoff would be top 8 teams receive buys. So there's actually a incentive for having a great season. But unlike the current system where the top 4 teams don't get to host a home playoff game, under this system, everybody gets a playoff game. The first round, the first top 8 sit out. The other 16 play each other. So you have 8 playoff games. Then we turn around, and those 8 winners will then play at the houses of the hosts. That makes total sense to me, John.
It's too many teams, and I don't like the bye system. I want everybody playing. We've seen teams that get a bye end up getting penalized for it because they're not on point as well. I think that's just too many games. I agree that to me 16 teams, no byes, no conference championship games. The conference championships games are ridiculous because it's like an exhibition game when you say, well, Alabama won't be penalized for losing a conference championship game. Well, it did get penalized because it had to play Indiana.
Hey, Dixon and Bry, here's the format. 24 teams. Top 8 teams get byes. No conference championship games. Already gone. That, as soon as the season ends, the next week we're playing expanded field on-campus playoff games. It's a 23+1 model, which means 23 teams come out of the real leagues. We still give the Crip leagues 1 team. 23 best teams are guaranteed a spot in the and then the group of 6 now. There's a group of 6 because we're going to have this newly reconfigured thing that's going on in the West Coast. Now we've got a group of 6. Schedule opens the second weekend of December. 8 on-campus first-round games. Quarterfinals or semifinals are played at bowl sites. Alternative. Proposals suggest a transition to a 16-team model for 27-28, featuring 5 automatic qualifiers, 11 at-large berths, and then you play it off from there. Do you like that one, John? A 16-team model.
I don't want the automatic qualifiers. I want all teams at large now. I think that's the best. I'm looking to get the best teams in the playoffs. But what we're seeing here, the way this whole thing is set up, it's all about the SEC and the Big Ten. And the ACC and the Big 12 are just kind of off to the side. But the SEC, they have to both sign off on this. And they don't think about what's best for the sport.
No.
They think about what's best for their league. To that point, with the Big Ten, I did this Big Ten SEC Top 25 poll every week during football season. And what you have, Big Ten strong at the top. So with a 12-team playoff, it's going to get three teams in. It's top teams. SEC stronger at the middle. So that would help it in a 16-team playoff. But then the Big Ten comes in later with more teams. So that's why they want the 24-team playoff. I mean, if you put a 24-team playoff this year, you would have added a lot more Big Ten teams. You'd have added Washington, Iowa, think of some others.
Illinois, those type teams.
Those type teams, yeah. So, but they just both think about what's best for them. But
I so abhor these conference championship games.
Oh, they're
that
the
worst. I would give up. You can have your 24-team playoff if you can just do away with those. Matt and Bri, what do y'all think? If you'd make me choose the current format or what the Big Ten's proposing, I'd rather have what the Big Ten's proposing.
I don't like 24. I think that's a little bit too many. I want to cap it at 16, and I sort of want to do away with the conference championship games too. I don't know if that's eating cake and having it or whatever they say about it, but that's my thought.
Well, you got to choose one of those. You got to choose one, either what we're currently doing or what the Big Ten. So you'd rather have what we're currently doing then?
Yeah, I would. So I don't want 24.
We'll just keep the conference championship games then. Matt, what do you say?
Yeah, I'd prefer to keep it keep it with 12. The 24 is way too many. That's basically the FCS model.
Yeah.
So, it's not like the Big Ten came up with this on their own. They're just copying the FCS model. The good side to that is you get home playoff games, which I'm for. I think the more games on campus, the better. I hate that the most important games of the season continue to get put away from campuses, and that is a disservice to college football. But 24 is way too many teams.
Everybody gets,
and you're not getting rid of the conference championship games like that. Like they're not going away. Like they have to figure out a way to make them matter, but they're not going to get rid of them because they make a lot of money, and that's the whole point of the playoffs is making money.
But the way I understand this, Matt, is they go to 24, they will eliminate them.
Yeah.
But imagine
if they go to 24, yeah.
Yeah, but here's the thing. We say they would eliminate them. What if the SEC's counter proposal is, okay, we'll do the 24-team playoff, but we still want a conference championship games. SEC does not want to give up that game.
Oh, no. SEC was the first to do it. SEC is extremely proud of it. The game is antiquated. It makes no sense.
No, I mean,
both teams that play in that game are playing at the top of the sport every year. There will never be a year when both those teams are not at the top of the sport. And the championship games, I mean, the sad thing is we all still watch them, which is why they still have them, by the way. If people
people still go to them.
If people tuned out and just if people just tuned out and treated them like they should be treated, they would quit playing them. By the way, Timothy McGee says the FCS has been doing a similar format for years and it's still good football. I agree with that. The problem, Timothy, thinking about it, is that the first round of the playoffs, Brian and you and I have talked about, does really involve some kill games in the FCS. Now, I don't know if that would happen at this level. I don't know if there's that big a disparity in the major leagues up a level between the haves and the have-nots. I'd have to look at the modeling on that. I probably should have.
There's been blowouts in the playoffs the last couple of
years.
Yeah. Well, look at, Indiana versus Alabama. That's one of the worst beatings Alabama's ever absorbed. Indiana versus Oregon.
In second thought, I kind of like this format. Conference championship games suck. New model, come on. That's from Lieutenant Mark in Columbus. Come on. New model. Come on. Conference championship games suck. Yeah, conference championship games just offend me. The concept of redundancy when you've already played your season and just greed for greed's sake.
It made sense when you had divisions.
Sure.
I don't want this play-in thing they've tossed around either. That 3 versus 6 playing for a spot. That's what your regular season is for.
You know what a 3 versus 6 model is that they were talking about in a 4 versus 5 model? That's a 24-team playoff. Because essentially what you're doing then is you're saying it's just reframing what it is, but that's really a 24-team playoff at that point.
Why does college football? It's such a great game. Why does it have to be so complicated off the field?
I don't know.
Good gosh.
And the politics of it. John and I were talking during a break. What this reminds me of is it's two political parties, never going to admit that one has a good idea, always going to act in their own self-interest. Always, Greg Sankey's job is to not give a lick and bring all the money back to his district that he possibly can and not give an inch. And, you look at it, and we might be stuck at 12 for a while. If you look at those two proposals, because they're light years apart, unless the SEC gives in and says, yeah, you'll get 4, we get 4. And then we have some, and if you really bet on and believe in your league, from a 12-team format, 16, they're talking about a 16 with non-automatic qualifiers, right? And that where the jam up is, going to 16 and then not having to guaranteed qualifiers.
The SEC would be on board with that, and that is what I like that too. I mean,
but if you believe in your league, you get the 4 plus whatever you can get. You don't just stop there. So you have the 4 and the 4, so that equals 9. You add the other 2 leagues, that's 11. So like the other 3 or 4 spots, just off the top of my head, the other 3 or 4 spots are up for grabs among the other leagues. If your league's really good, you get a couple of those. I mean, aren't you back to where you wanted to be? I don't understand why we're at loggerheads here. Why not just give them the 4 guaranteed spots then? Because they're not going to get 4. Is that what you're saying?
No, I just think that it all should be at large. If it's all at large, the SEC will get at least 4 teams. The Big Ten will get at least 4 teams.
Well, then that's what they want. The Big Ten wants 4 guaranteed teams. That was the whole.
But you know, it shouldn't be a guarantee. If there's a super team in the Big 12, I mean, it should. I mean, the Big 12 could have 2 teams.
But they get at large teams. They'll still get at large. 4 and 4 is 8, 9. ACC gets 1, 10. Big 12 gets 1, 11. You still have 4 or 5 spots to play with there.
I'm really getting tired of talking about all these different things.
Yeah, I agree. Let's bring Mark Griffin in. We'll do that right after this.
Screw that
playoff. Screw college football.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville. Fan Run Radio.
It's the hottest post-game show on the planet. Garza Law. Fifth quarter fan reaction. Fan reaction. As soon as the final gun sounds, we're live.
When it's time for a fresh coat of paint, run, don't walk to Walker's Painting. Interior and exterior, Walker's Painting's been making it beautiful since 1999 across the Knoxville area. New construction, repaints, commercial, residential, free estimates available. And get this, mention you heard Walker's Painting on the Basilio Show, 10% off your first job. Let's go! Run, don't walk to Walker's Painting. 865-688-1410. That's 865-688-1410. Walker's Painting, making it beautiful since 1999. Check out the ad at the blog at tclub.team. Walker's Painting.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Okay, so we really need uniforms and equipment for this season. Can I trust you with that? Cool, I'll just order them online. What? Yeah, I'm gonna hop online and I'm gonna get them ordered. Hold up, that's not a good idea. We shouldn't just spend money on some random online retailer, okay? I mean, it seems pretty convenient. Trust me, it's a terrible idea. Let me simplify this for you. SM Athletics. Okay, how do you pronounce it? SM Athletics? They're the go-to for uniforms and equipment, whether it's for universities, high schools, youth leagues, you name it. So why wouldn't you rather go with professionals who can guide us through the process, design the perfect uniforms, and deliver the best equipment? Yeah, I guess that makes sense. What's the name again? SM Athletics. Right. It's definitely smarter to go with a company that emphasizes customer service, fair pricing, and, of course, excellent products. Exactly. So, yeah, I guess it's settled then. For uniforms and equipment for all sports, it's SM Athletics.
When a dangerous, overgrown, or storm-damaged tree is threatening your home, your car, or your family, don't risk it. Call ECR Total Landscapes, your local tree-cutting experts. From precision tree removal and trimming to emergency storm cleanup, ECR Total Landscapes has the equipment and the experience to get the job done safely and efficiently. Call today to set up your free estimate, 865-384-2012, or just go online to ecrtotallandscapes.com.
Josh Collins at Collins Insurance Agency. At Collins Insurance, we strive to ensure our customers receive better coverage along with bigger savings. Our community is important to us. We want to provide exceptional service to our customers. Anybody can provide great rates, great coverage, but can you also get great service? And hey, don't just take my word for it.
What's up, everybody? Zakai Ziegler here. My family turns to Collins Insurance Agency for the best service, coverage, and price.
So don't just go online and get some random insurance. Experience the Collins Insurance difference.
Like he said, experience the Collins Insurance difference. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. And hey, their Mama Zizi approved. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. Thank you to Josh Collins and Zizi.
One more thing, Tony. Go Vols!
Newsflash, Basilio listeners, the spring real estate market just moved up. Yes, it's chilly outside and you're still in your puffy coat, but if you need to sell your East Tennessee property, you could be the hottest house on the block. Hi there. Jennifer Morris here with Keller Williams Realty. February is the sweetheart month of real estate, and savvy sellers know exactly what that means. Get ahead of the game and give me a call at 865-694-5904 or reach out at nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com, and go Vols!
Yeehaw! I've been hooting and hollering ever since I started betting with the VIP Play app. VIP Play has more than 200 leagues, every bet type you can imagine, live betting and live hosts, all with 24/7 support from real live people when you need them. Start betting better with the VIP Play app today.
Don't be a better with VIP Play today.
VIP Play coming soon. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-889-9789. Must be 21 plus and located in Tennessee to bet.
Achillio here, and my friends at Carnes Motor Company started with a dream over a quarter century ago. I met Rob and Brian back when I still had hair, and they were working at a huge dealership in West Knoxville. But they told me back then they wanted to sell cars on their terms, and I wanted to do radio on my terms. Their terms, just like my terms, are ultimately your terms. In both cases, you're the winner. A Car Guru's National Award winner with a 5-star rating on all sites, just like our Vols. Everything about buying a car from Carnes Motor Company is no hassle. They specialize in high-quality pre-owned vehicles between the $5,000 to $25,000 range. And if you need to sell a car, they'll either buy your car or they'll help you sell it. Carnes Motor Company also has a top-notch service department. Therefore, every vehicle is rigorously inspected and serviced prior to delivery. So you're guaranteed to get a quality pre-owned vehicle every time. If you need a place for service, they've got you covered. Come be a part of the Carnes Motor Company family and tell them you heard about it from me. Online at carnesmotor.com, Oak Ridge Highway, 1 mile past the Carnes light. Carnes Motor Company. TB back with you, 865-200-5402. If YouTube catches one word of that, I'll get zapped today.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Says any YouTube creator anywhere. John was playing me a song there during the break. John, what was it?
Hills and Poverty.
Hills and
Gooden.
Poverty by Tim Gooden.
As you can tell by the title, it's not a real upbeat song, but I like sad songs.
Well, Marky Mark and the Lunchy Bunch now commences our Tuesday edition with the great Mark Griffin. Matt Dixon, I would like you to speak on your own behalf here. You were accused by some of these miserables on YouTube, Les Miserables over on the YouTube chat. I brought up that I was almost feeling like, what's the term here? I was almost feeling like the post-game show has like outlived its usefulness, and we get around and we're whining and complaining every night after wins about a team that's going to win 22 or 23 games, and it was just my Ecclesiastes moment of my career. It's all vanity. So, Matt Dixon, what do you got to say for yourself? Because they said you are a Negaval in there as well.
Well, I love the post-game shows, and I don't want to do away with them at all. Enjoy doing them. Yeah, they do have a negative tone a lot of times, unfortunately. But no, I just think that a lot of these post-game calling or just calling shows in general, it's a lot of negativity for whatever reason. The negatives always outweigh the positives in terms of callers, and Maybe in terms of just things to discuss throughout a game, because
should we not take as many calls?
Program to a high standard.
Should we have like Rick Barnes' post-game comments that we could get, run those, talk about that, analyze the game, talk about that, and not do phone calls?
But I think phone calls, the listeners, think about the listeners. Don't you think the listeners want to hear people call in?
Not if they're bitching about a 23-win basketball team all the time.
The problem with basketball is there's so many games, and one game just doesn't mean that much.
Yeah.
You can look, how bad did Tennessee beat Florida here last year by 20-something points? Florida won the national championship.
Yeah.
And beat Tennessee by 30 or so in Gainesville.
Or the Lady Vols beat that UConn team, who the rest of the year just went
never. They hadn't lost since.
I'm not
so
sure if they trailed.
It's different in football because you have a football game and you pick it apart. You play in 12 regular season games, good, bad. You go through everything. But with basketball, when you start breaking down one game, it just probably doesn't mean as much.
Griff, do you have a thought on why, like, this basketball team is just pushing so many people's buttons? As I bring you in, I want to kind of start there, because this basketball team, for whatever reason, is driving us nuts for some reason.
Well, the way I look at it, Tony, is it just shows fans care, and if they didn't care, you just wouldn't talk about it as much. And you want perfection, you're not going to have it. You want continued improvement. We've seen that in many areas. I think with basketball too, it's easier to dissect the game than it is football, especially for me. I watch a football game and I normally sit with the former Vol and I get him to explain, like, hey, what's going on here with this defense? And it's not as easy as just a simple man-to-man versus zone. It's just, you just got, 5 guys on defense to watch versus multiple sets in football. And that's the best comparison I can give, because I can't call in on a show and comment about Heupel's defense. I don't know what to look for. But with basketball, I think it's easier to critique and then play stops. It gives you time to kind of collect your thoughts and go, oh, this is what happened. So I just think it's easier to dissect for basketball fans. And I think Tennessee fans care and just, they want them to get to a Final Four. Let's admit it, Tony. And that how much longer is that window going to be open in Barnes' era? And if, I know you were addressed in a social media post that I read this morning. In the future, being a top 10, job opening down the road, we don't know what's going to happen down the road. So we have a sense of urgency now.
Yeah. Well, my point was, industry people I talk to say this is easily a top 10 job. It's a desirable job. The guy at St. Louis wants this job. The guy at Texas A&M wants this job. There are a lot. It's not like the football job, which is a tough sell and tough sledding. This job is a monster job in its sport. And it's a monster job because you're in an area, first of all, you got a lot of money. Secondly, you make a lot of money. Thirdly, it's a job that's never been to a Final Four. So you can be that first guy. You can be that conquering hero. Fourthly, the fan base is huge. And I go back to the night that it snowed and 17,000 people showed up there. John, I've been around here 30 plus, I've never seen anything like that. Restaurants were closed all around the area. And Tennessee was so convinced that they were going to light crowd that they basically told a lot of the concessionaires to stay at home. And there were only a few concessions open in the place. And they had 17,000 or so people at the game, which is incredible.
Well, I mean, Tennessee, let's face it, Tennessee has a huge fan base. And it's in all sports. But and that speaks to the interest in your post-game show. I mean, I think you should keep doing it too. If it matters, as Mark said, that shows how much it matters. I remember covering a game at Rupp Arena years ago. The next morning, we're getting ready to return to Knoxville after the game.
Yeah.
And a Tennessee-Kentucky game. I was listening to a call-in show. One of the callers was breaking. He was ragging on the 11th guy for Kentucky, what he couldn't do, how he couldn't go to his left. The 11th guy on the team had trouble going to his left. That really had an impact. I mean, it just showed how much basketball there matters. They're analyzing everything, even a guy that at the very end of the bench. But I think Tennessee fans, I just think other than Kentucky fans, I think Tennessee has the best basketball fans.
Totally agree.
In the conference. I mean, Arkansas, I would probably put it up there right with, but it's much better than Florida, which has had more. It's had greater moments, greater highs. But
hey, Griff, do you think this is a byproduct of something you and I have talked about off the air, which is the fan-player relationship? The player and the sport relationship's never been stranger. It's pickup-esque what's going on. And somebody made a great point the other night on the post game that I was listening to that Alex did a great job. Alex Myers did the show and did a wonderful job. He and Matt, it was terrific. But one thing a caller said, which is even Estrella, who you would look at on paper and say is a returning player, has played so little. Akpara, who you call a veteran, was a one-year transfer guy in. He's not a multi-year guy in your program. Phillips, you would look at in years past and you'd say, yeah, he's a nice young player as well. But this is a brand new basketball team with brand new tendencies, with a brand new personality.
And every year it's going to be brand new.
And every year, Mark, I wonder if that's part of this as well, the way we feel.
Well, you just can't get connected to the guys. One thing that I love being in East Tennessee, watching the news, different broadcasts, they're interviewing guys. You get to know some personal notes, and that really means a lot to learn about guys' background, what their interest is off the court, their character kids, maybe what they're majoring in if they're going to stick around for a while. But you're right, it's now rent a jersey. I mean, you're renting a jersey for a year, and you're either one and done, or you're going to the highest bidder, and it's rare that people will stay for a second year, or even third, and much less. I mean, it'd be interesting, and Brian could probably look this up. But even in the SEC, how many fourth-year seniors, not fifth-year seniors, where you redshirted and came from another program? But I'd like to know how many players in the SEC. We'll just use that as a trial. Have started their career at a program and finished or completing their eligibility at the same program. It's got to be so rare. And I remember, Tony, when I hate to go back in the day, but even when I finished up my senior year, we had 5 seniors, and we only had 1 transfer. Clarence Swearingen came from Murray State. But everybody else stuck it out 4 years, and that's a bond. And it's a bond that, you can take and have taken with most of these guys that are still here over the years. And now I'm just curious, like you mentioned Akpara. Let's just use him. Started off at Ohio State, here now. What bond does he build with his teammates when he's out of school? Does he hang out with his Ohio State players? Does he go to reunion in Columbus, or does he come here? What does he call home? I mean, there's a lot to it after basketball that it's in its infancy stage now that we don't really look at for down the road, but I think it's really going to hurt these young men down the road because they haven't really built intimate relationships that are going to last a lifetime. And if they have, it's very few.
Matt, why is our fan base so bumming on a team that's going to win 22 or 23 games? Explain that to me. Because a guy in West Tennessee said that the other night, and it's been bothering me ever since.
Because they're not as good as the previous 2 teams that went to the Elite Eight. For a lot of the reasons that Griff just said, you lost a ton of great players. And I just think fans always kind of look for the potential of teams instead of kind of who they are, or maybe like the floor. And when you have a guy like Ament and you have a guy like Gillespie who has shown flashes of playing high-level ball and really is a high-level point guard, even with some of the flaws, that you just have such a high standard there that Barnes has created with how successful he's been, that there's just almost nothing to talk about positive wise because you kind of expect it and you only are kind of looking for the negatives or looking for things to criticize when it doesn't go well.
I just think it has to do so much with Tennessee because it's an established program that's had a lot of success in some ways, but it hasn't excelled in March, and it's never been to a Final Four.
But that's not these kids didn't do that.
I know, but fans view the team through that lens.
I know,
through a historical lens, and I think that's a factor in. But see, there's another way to look at this team.
Yep.
When I look at this team, instead of fans that follow a team closely, and media too, can just what can't this team do? Why will this team fail in the NCAA tournament?
That's what they're doing.
What's going to pull it under and drown it in the NCAA tournament? But I look at it, you've got two really, really high-powered offensive players in Ament and Gillespie that could carry a team through an NCAA tournament. And then if J.P. Estrella plays well and some other guys come through, Tennessee also, another thing I like about it's really good at rebounding. It's really good at that.
Thank you. Now, here's the thing, Griff. I evoked Pat Summitt yesterday because she told me, we were talking one time, and she says to me, let me tell you something about rebounding. It's just wanting to. She said, I've told you could be a marginal athlete and you can rebound. You get yourself in position. You fend off the other person. You understand space a little bit, but you have to be in position. You have to care to rebound the basketball. This team shows me night in and night out, Mark, with those rebounding numbers, particularly those offensive rebounding numbers that are just insane, that they highly care, that they play very hard, Mark. But yet our fans are only looking for the flaws in this team. Not, damn, we just killed somebody on the boards again. We outwork everybody. Our fans, for whatever reason, don't look at this team like that, Griff.
Well, I think there's some tendency to look in the areas of improvement, though, and I do think, yes, you can appreciate. I think you just call out more of the areas of need. Everyone has their own personal scouting report. I mean, with social media now, with so many games like John alluded to, you get to watch this team more and more, and you kind of pick up tendencies and strengths, and like I said before, areas of improvement. But this is not unique just to Tennessee fans. We make it like it's not happening anywhere else. I guarantee you today in Houston, Texas, on the talk shows, people are going nuts because Houston pulled at Tennessee last night and didn't rebound a key rebound to Iowa State. And Iowa State pulls out a fantastic victory against Houston, who I still feel is going to win a national championship. But after watching last night, I'm questioning Houston. And they've got 4 NBA players, and their 5th player is Sharp, who's their brightest player and most seasoned player on the team.
Well, Matt, I got a text from a friend of mine last night, and he was watching that game, and he said, how in the hell did we beat that Houston team? And I said, are you kidding? How do we beat? We're going to win 22 or 23 games. What do you mean, how did we beat them? Like it's an outlier, Matt. Why is our fan base so down on this team? And by the way, I'm kind of down on them too. So it's just odd. Why are we so down on this team? Like John said, this Ament guy has the ability to be as good as anybody in the tournament at the end of the year. And the great Maury Hanks, who's listening to us right now, told me one time, if you have one of those guys, you got a chance to cut the nets down. For years and years, we'd go into the tournament without one of those guys. When you have one of those guys, you have a chance to cut the nets down. If you don't have one of those guys, you really, really, at the end of the day, your ceiling is capped in the NCAA tournament. And it is about to be tournament time. So I think we all need a pep talk here. Matt, is that not correct? Is that not correct? That when you have one of these guys, you have a chance?
Yeah, you always have a chance. I mean, you'd kind of prefer it to be a more of a veteran type player, but again, those guys that you're talking about don't necessarily stay around in college more than a year either. So unless you have that Dalton Connect type, a Nate Amen's about as good as you can get as far as a guy that can take over a tournament or at least win a game or two for you. You have to have that. You have to have good guard play. Tennessee kind of has that with Gillespie. There's some pieces that give you hope. It's just there's also just those kind of inherent flaws that are what we tend to talk about on the post game shows. Unfortunately,
I think you also see in the NCAA tournament, you see a lot of superstars that play like superstars in the tournament, and is a big factor. The best players are at their best, but you see with a lot of teams a player who's been okay and pretty good and plays at a higher level in the tournament. And you get that combination. And I just think Tennessee has some guys that maybe could do that.
Estrella could certainly do that. He's got great ability.
Yeah.
He could certainly do that. John, for a couple games, shoot you through a round like he did the other night, get hot. Really?
And there are other guys. There are just a lot of different type players on this team.
Yeah.
And you really what you need kind of one more. You go through an NCAA tournament, every game you got that third guy. You know you get what you can get from Ament and Gillespie. And if they're going to give you 40-plus points if they're at their best, top of their game, shooting well, and then you get that third guy, and then you rebound like crazy, and you shoot your free throws better and protect the ball better.
Mark, what do you think? Because this team is a little maddening, right? That's a true statement. A guy just said in the YouTube comments that they don't do basketball IQ things at times. It's true. But that's the whole sport, though, isn't it, right now in this era, Mark?
Well, I think, you guys bring up some great points. I think one of the keys, and John, you nailed it, and it's funny because I know you weren't at the Big Orange Tip-Off Club yesterday. Buzz Peterson spoke, and we have talked about this in the past, but he alluded to the same thing. You got to have that third player that's going to step up. Two players is great, and of course, we're taking for granted that our two great players, in Gillespie and Amen, are going to play well. But let's say one of them doesn't. You got to have someone step it up, and that's going to be a key. It's promising to see someone like, I call him Iceberg. He thawed out a little bit the other night. I think he got 18 minutes, played really well, and I think game in and game out, you're going to have someone that's going to step up to play. The problem is how long is your leash for someone that's not normally out on the court more than 25 minutes. And that's very rare for that third player to get that time, to get the confidence, to get the production, game in, game out. You haven't seen that. And that's what I think, to me, is the most frustrating, is I'm always looking at, you stop those two, you're done. I don't care how well you read. You don't get that third consistent player, or at least third player that's going to step up. It's going to be a short postseason. But, Tony, I don't feel what you're feeling. I'm not on the air every day like you are, but when you're looking at Tennessee now, they're tied for third in the SEC.
Exactly.
If they can finish in the top four, going into Nashville, they have a double bye into the tournament. That is a great position to rest. I think it's 4 weeks from today. I may not be exactly sure, but it's probably 4 weeks. So, these guys get to rest an extra game. They're getting ready for the postseason tournament. They got a big game tomorrow night, take care of business against Oklahoma, and then, move on to Nashville. I know there's a lot of naysayers, and I'm not looking forward to Memorial Madness either, but anything can happen. Anything can happen. You just got to just keep getting better every day in practice, Tony.
Explain to me this, guys. How could Oklahoma let their basketball team go with the tradition they have in that sport, dating back to the old Big 8 days? I wrote this in the blog today. That Oklahoma thing, they're unsightly. They're borderline unwatchable. That's a guy that beat us in March with a quarter of the budget. That's one of those, what in the hell is going on here moments. Now, obviously, we were missing our center for that game, and it's just Tennessee history, Tennessee basketball history. It's just the way that cookies always crumbled on us in that thing for whatever reason. How can anybody explain to me how Porter Moser could end up here? John, can you they are unfreaking watchable.
Yeah, and Oklahoma has great basketball tradition. I mean, they've had a lot of good teams go through there, and a lot of good players. You know, one of the things, because the SEC, I look back at the SEC last year, it was historical. What was it, 14 teams were in? That's probably never going to happen in the sport again. It'd be hard to.
Yes.
But this year, when I look at the SEC, and that's what I don't watch a lot of college basketball outside the SEC. I just see a lot of talented players in the SEC. A lot of kind of players that could just carry a team in a tournament run. And then I look around. I've watched a little of the other teams and the top teams in college basketball. Golly, I think there are more great players in college basketball right now than there have been in a long time.
John, this freshman class, they're saying, is generational.
But, I mean, think
like
about
generational.
I'm really looking forward to this NCAA tournament. Because I think you're going to see some incredible performances, individual and
Hey, Tony.
Go ahead, Griff.
Speaking of the freshmen, Tony, I saw something recently. The lottery picks top 14, and 12 of the top 14 picks as of just a few weeks ago are looked at going to freshmen. That tells you how strong this freshman class is.
In other words, not international players.
That's hard to believe.
Because generally, lately, it's been international guys and then a college kid every once in a while. You know, when you say 12 of the 14 are currently playing in major college basketball, the other thing about, like somebody was just talking about Oklahoma's offensive numbers, and he's right. Like they score. Their efficiency numbers are off the charts. They don't defend at all. Matt, you watch Oklahoma play. Do they even try on defense? I mean, they don't even try.
Not really. They don't have some lockdown scheme. They don't have any rim protection. No, they don't. They're just not. He's gone all in offensively this year, especially.
Is he going to get fired, you think, after this year?
He's done.
If they care enough, yeah.
Yeah, another thing too, I looked into Porter Moser, and of course Tennessee fans from back in the day will remember him because he was with Loyola Chicago back in 2018 and took them on their Final Four run, and that kind of propelled his career.
Unbelievable.
He's in his fifth season at Oklahoma. All he has for it is a first-round loss in the NCAA tournament last year.
Or he was going to get fired last year.
And went to the second round in NIT in 2022, and it's his fifth year. And that usually your fifth year is your make-or-break year. So you're right, John. I think he's on a short leash, depending on how they finish up. And another thing we talk about, transfer portal, I don't know any of their players except two. I mean, no inside presence whatsoever except, Darion Reed transferred from Alabama. Good athlete, but he's not going to be an All-American, and I don't know if he'll be drafted down the road or not. But, Tony, I know you love St. Joseph, with Xavier R. Brown. Very explosive player.
The X-Man.
Great free throw shooter, shooting over 90%. And then Nigel Pack, if you remember that name. Team was in on him when he transferred from Kansas State. He went to Miami and led them to the Final Four in 2023. So they've got two good guards, but outside of that, they don't match up like an Amen and a Gillespie type of good players, but they're their best players. But that's all they have. You stop one of them, and they're done.
Hey, Griff, when you say Nigel Pack, that reminds me of one of your old neighborhood buddies, Pac-Man Jones, back in your Nashville days. Shout out to Pac-Man Jones and Mr. Jones.
I wonder about Oklahoma, because I think of Oklahoma as having money. They got some oil wells in Oklahoma.
They've got a great women's team they're spending money on. They've got a great softball team they spend money on, women's softball. Their football program, obviously, is moneyed to the hilt. They don't really try in baseball, but they're okay. Basketball is a sport that, back in the day, man, even going back to the guy at Indiana that couldn't stay off the telephone, who's now at Houston, going back to his days. Yeah, Kelvin Sampson. They had very good teams when Kelvin Sampson was there. It's weird.
Yeah.
How could Porter Moser do that little there after beating us and making a name for himself?
I go back to Billy Tubbs there.
I love Billy Tubbs.
He went there from Lamar.
Yes.
And that was I covered that team throughout an NCAA tournament run. It lost to Danny Manning in Kansas in a rematch. But
that was awesome.
Mookie Blaylock.
Yes.
Mookie Blaylock.
Stacy
King.
I love that team.
King.
Harvey Grant.
Harvey Grant.
I love that team.
Who else? There was another.
Ricky
Grace.
I love Ricky Grace. They were awesome. And they used to do that thing, Griff, when they made a foul shot, they would cross their legs, and then they would cross their legs. All the guys on the bench would do a thing with their legs where when a foul shot went through.
I remember being in a it was a Final Four, and they were having a press conference, but a couple of days.
Yeah.
I guess it was before the tournament started.
Yeah.
And Oklahoma was up, so they were waiting. They were waiting to line. And I just happened to look in the back of the room, and I think it was Stacy King that was stretched out on 3 chairs, just like he was taking a nap.
Yeah.
I mean, that bunch was so loose, and Billy Tubbs was so much fun.
I love Billy Tubbs.
Wayman Tisdale.
Oh, Wayman Tisdale.
I love Wayman Tisdale.
Good gosh.
Great history, man.
So why... It doesn't make sense to me. I just wonder if they're not supporting. Why can't they get players? I mean, if you...
Well, somebody in our chat said, which I didn't realize, they're getting ready to shut the door on the Noble Arena, and they're getting ready to build a new place. And maybe that's the thing.
It caught on fire the other day.
That's right. That's right. During the Georgia game, they were on fire on offense, and they had a popcorn popper catch fire. That's one of the craziest looking things you'll ever see at a sporting event.
Yeah, so he is on the hot seat then. Yeah, he's absolutely on the hot seat.
I mean, that's a real hot seat, Matt. You're right. Blowtorch coming out.
I think that's what popped into Moser's head when he heard there's a fire.
Thank God there was only like 100 people at the game, John. Can you imagine the injuries they would have had if that... Did you see the video? Did you all see the video of that? Oh, it was wild.
So they're not drawing either. They're not drawing.
Why would they go see a team that doesn't? No.
But you know what? Tennessee fans support bad teams sometimes.
The best basketball fan base. Kentucky really celebrates the sport. I got to give it to them. Like I said that both nights that we got swept by Kentucky. I'm like, look, first of all, 2 things I know. Your team is mid. My team is pissing me off, and you all are great fans because they really do celebrate the sport of college basketball. They love the game. However, we have put up with a lot of nonsense down through the years, and we have a great, incredible, awesome, phenomenal fan base. It is fantastic.
I mean, when they showed up for some of those Kevin O'Neill teams.
Unbelievable. 18 or 19,000 people at those games. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
When you know your team might not score 45 points.
And they would stay, a couple thousand people would stay afterwards and would sit there and watch him do his post-game show.
Well, that did have some entertainment value.
So... We're going to, hey, Griff, I want some thoughts from you on the other side on where this team goes to take the next step, because not only do you have the Oklahoma game on Wednesday, but you have a matinee affair in Nashville against a Vanderbilt team, Griff, that's pretty interesting. Hey, Vanderbilt's having a pretty good year in both women's and men's basketball right now. It looks like they made a really good hire in both sports. And Vanderbilt's athletic department, all of a sudden, Danny White, Dr. Danny, we're watching. They're they're cooking with grease right now. We'll talk to Griff as to what the challenge level is going to be for Tennessee when they go on the road with Vandy. We'll kind of look ahead, and we'll continue. It is the Marky Mark and the Lunchy Bunch Happy Time Hoops Hour. More after this. Are you currently a residential electrician? Would you like more benefits, better pay, more upside? What about a $3,000 signing bonus? Free company-paid health insurance, annual profit share, company vehicle, gas card, much more. Call Advent Electric today. Advent, known for their large commercial jobs around town, and due to high demand, they're adding additional roles for their residential department. Maybe you know a friend, family member that's a residential electrician. Spread the word. Email hr@adventelectric.com. hr@adventelectric.com. 865-588-0631 and ask for the Tony B 3K signing bonus. Advent Electric is hiring. You got to dream about buying some land and building on that land. Well, Waterside Contracting is your ticket. 25 years of making dreams come true, Michael Scott. For hundreds in our area, custom homes or remodels, Waterside Contracting will build on your lot. They do incredible work all over the area. Structural integrity, quality without compromise. It's a way of life with Waterside Contract. Check out the wonderful work Waterside does. WatersideContractingLLC.com. When it's time for your dreams to come true. Quality without compromising. Waterside Contracting.
College football fans, Chris Fowler here with the play call. This season, go for Dose with ice-cold refreshing Dos Equis. It's more than a single play. It's a mindset. Think of it as a 2-point conversion for real life. Taking the risk, making the bold move. Whenever we get the chance to go big, we take it. On the field and off, always go for Dose with Dos Equis.
Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. Copyright 2024 Dos Equis Lager Especial Beer. Imported by Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Tony Basilio along with the great Mark Griffin. And we're here to talk about our friends at Performance Medicine. And Griff, their slogan, stay educated, stay healthy. That's you.
Wow. I really like to think that, Tony, and I'd like to give Dr. Rogers a lot of credit because I definitely want to stay educated and healthy, and knowing that he's putting the time and effort in to make sure of my care, I want to encourage your listeners to put the time to learn and become educated and get to know Dr. Rogers and see if it can help with your health as well.
And there's a really, really easy way to do that. In fact, they've got their own YouTube channel. You can see Dr. Rogers for himself with his staff. It's called The Performance Medicine Show over at the Performance Medicine channel over on YouTube. Also, more information at performancemedicine.net. To our friends in North Knoxville, a brand new location over in Fountain City, now accepting patients. So many ways to reach Dr. Rogers. And like they say, stay educated, stay healthy. Performance Medicine, online, performancemedicine.net.
Located in Knoxville's historic Old City, Barley's offers great food, live music, the best draft beer selection in town, and now your new favorite place to watch sports. Their indoor projector is perfect for any weather, and they've revamped their upstairs area with more TVs to take in all of the action. Their menu features hand-battered chicken tenders, juicy burgers, fresh salads, and the tastiest pizza in Knoxville. You can enjoy their happy hour drink specials daily from open until 6 p.m. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
Basilio here with my buddy, Kenexial Kristen.
Hey Tony, good to see ya. Kenexial builds fleet technology that helps transportation and logistics companies win big. Live GPS, easy ELD and compliance tools, AI dash cameras, and asset tracking, all backed by the /1 U.S. customer support team. Want a better playbook for your operations? Visit Kenexial.com/Tony. That's KONEXIAL.com/Tony. Kenexial, built for drivers, trusted by fleets, and proud Vol fans.
Tony Basilio here, and I got the great Chad Stockton of FC Alliance 2026. Chad, do you believe we've made it?
Boys and girls teams start off the new year at big national event showcases. We got our younger kids training indoors and doing a lot of things to get better. So we're excited about what the future holds.
Chad, I hear the juice behind you. I hear the kids. Your program reaches throughout East Tennessee. If folks want to get involved, what's the advice?
We're easy to get in touch with. We offer players at all ages, all levels, all experience. We have a program for all of our kids that we have, and we're excited for anyone to join us.
And even some Lady Vols as well. Several college players all over the country, yes?
Absolutely. We had a lot of girls that we were able to watch play in the NCAA tournament. A lot of our former players made big runs through the tournament. We're so excited for them.
Growing the beautiful game. In this, the year of the World Cup in North America, celebrate the beautiful game. Get your child involved. FCAllianceKnox.org. That's FCAllianceKnox.org. And Chad, thank you, man. Keep growing the beautiful game.
Absolutely, Tony, and thank you very much.
Preparing food for a big gathering can really take it out of you. That's why you need to call Calhoun's and check out their selection of party platters. Whether you're hosting a party for the big game, a reunion, or just an everyday gathering, a Calhoun's party platter is next level. Choose from Calhoun's always excellent chicken tenders, fly with Calhoun's wings, or boneless wings with a variety of dipping sauces, award-winning next-level melt-in-your-mouth barbecue ribs, or delicious spinach artichoke dip, or get one of each. Plus, if you're doing burgers or sandwiches, Calhoun's has lots of side dishes like spinach Maria, baked cinnamon apples, Smoky Mountain baked beans, or creamy coleslaw. Available in pints, quarts, and gallons. And to finish things off, pick up one of Calhoun's great desserts to go, including homemade cheesecake or key lime pie. Calhoun's, simply your go-to party headquarters. With 9 locations all over East Tennessee, you can order online and just pick it up. Calhoun's, one of the Copper Cellar family of restaurants, along with Chesapeake's, Copper Cellar, Corner 16, Cherokee Grill, and Smoky Mountain Brewery. Eat local, eat good.
From the sunrise over the Smokies to the Saturday cheers at Neyland Stadium, Knoxville isn't just where we live, it's home. But let's be honest. Finding your perfect spot in a hot market can feel like a full-time job. Whether you're looking for a Craftsman in 4th and Gill, a family home in Farragut, or a view in South Knox, the market moves fast. You need more than a listing. You need an edge. And that's where I come in, Jennifer Morris with Keller Williams Realty. And I specialize in helping Knoxville buyers win. I don't just find houses, I find the right fit for your budget and your lifestyle. Ready to unlock your front door? Visit nextmovesmokymountains.com or call me at 865-694-5904. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com. And as always, go Vols.
Jennifer Morris is the absolute greatest intercontinental champion of all time. I love her.
I had lunch with her yesterday.
She presents the great John Adams. John Adams presented by Jennifer Morris. John came in here and so distracted me with our personal conversation that I've been off my game all day today. Jennifer, I love you. I appreciate you. I thank you. You're an advocate. You are for the living fan, of the living fan, and by the living fan. And she's at nextmovesmokymountains.com. And she is a straight-up sports lover and ball knower. Doesn't matter what season, any reason, the great Jennifer Morris. You bow thy head when you say thy name. Griff, it's time of the year we start thinking about the NCAA tournament. We wait all year for this. It's like a 3-week sprint to the finish here. So give me the lay of the land here, Griff. What's the lay of the land? What seed are the Vols looking like in your mind? Let's go through this here. Let's break it down scientifically. And what's my boy Stephen F. and Pearl got to do to right the ship here?
Well, as you know, I really love Joe Lenardi. He spoke at the Big Orange Tip-Off Club last year. Such a great guy. And Tony, I think he's from Philly. You're part of the neck of
he's
the woods.
He's a Philly boy.
But just very personable person. And when you look at the history of him choosing correctly, I want to say it's 98, 99%. It's unbelievable. And even getting the teams on the right lines as far as their seeding is just incredible. So I do follow that. He updates several times a week, and I study it because I hear people all the time will tell me, man, Tennessee's just got to get to a 4 seed. They'll be great. They just get to a 4. Then I always ask that individual, like, well, you realize there's probably 7 teams they've got to jump in front of because they're right now projected a 6, Tony. But let's take a look here just for fun and for the fans here. If you're really, following and see the importance of a 6 to a 4, and if you do a little history, the 5 versus the 12, for everyone that fills out the brackets, that's the seed that you get the most upsets. It's the 5 versus 12. So does Tennessee want to be on the 5 line? The 5 line right now is Louisville, Virginia, St. John's, and Arkansas. So they're going to have to lose. 4 seed, which is a stretch, Vanderbilt, Nebraska, Bama, Michigan State. Now, the good news for Tennessee, you got Vanderbilt twice, home and away. You've got Bama at home. So there can be a lot of movement between now and the second week of March. So that, if you think the fans are complaining now, this could really change a lot, guys, in the next several weeks. SEC's got 10 teams listed right now to make the tournament. Missouri is the first team out, or they call it the first 4 out. And I'm no guru or anything, but I did look up Missouri's remaining schedule and Georgia. And I'm bigger on Missouri flipping with Georgia and Georgia not making it. Georgia's one of the last 4 byes, so they're one of the bubble teams. But Missouri just has a more favorable schedule remaining than what Georgia does. We'll see, but I think it'll be fun, and it gives fans something a little extra to look out for, here in the next several weeks. But, we'll know more even after tonight.
Griff, I'm more of a computer ranking guy. I kind of follow the Torviks of the world and what seed line they have the Vols on. But it's a big world out there, and the whole bracketology thing is there's a lot of people just kind of do it in their basement, which is really kind of comical. But at any rate, it is interesting how close a lot of these teams are, how they lay one on top of the other. Let's talk about Vanderbilt. We've got 2 games upcoming with them. Obviously, at the very worst, you want to split those 2 games. At the very worst. Tell me about that matchup with Vanderbilt and how you see this thing.
Well, I've watched a lot of Vanderbilt games and know many people that are huge followers of the program. Tony, you're obviously good friends with George Plaster, who's a Vandy Sheep. So you hear a lot from him. Most improved player in the SEC, maybe one of the top 2 or 3 most improved players in the country. It's Ty Tanner out of Brentwood Academy. I mean, that's one thing. The only thing Jerry Stackhouse did well besides dress, according to some, was keep him on the team because he recruited him, and Ty Tanner stayed locally. And he didn't get a lot of offers, guys. He is incredible. Matter of fact, I read something about him that last year, pre-SEC, which is around 12 games, he did not have a turnover. It's incredible. I mean, it doesn't even make sense. Just really, you're talking about a leader and someone that I love watching is him. And then the players as a whole, I've never seen a team in the SEC play as loose or as much freedom as. Sorry?
Go ahead, Mark. Go ahead. I was talking to John. Go ahead.
Okay, well. And then, but the interesting thing is injuries. You got Duke Miles transfer from Oklahoma, has had a great season at Vanderbilt, but he's been, had some injuries which have slowed him down. If he doesn't play, and I don't know what the status is for him this week, I mean, that's obviously going to help Tennessee. Vanderbilt's been going going deeper in their bench than they have in the past, but they've got this Tyler Nickel kid that's transferred from Carolina a couple years ago, just playing. He's an outstanding shooter, just can't leave him open. And I know you guys will talk more about Vanderbilt down the road, but one of the things they lack in is rebounding. They are not a good rebounding team. When they had the 4-game skid,
they get beat up.
Or maybe it was 3-game skid. I know they lost 3 or 4 in a row. They were out rebounded double digits. Yeah. So if you're going to get to Vanderbilt, and what does Tennessee do best in the country? They're 3rd in the country in rebounding. So that offsets that. So I think that's a huge advantage for Tennessee. But I mean, I'll be at that game, and I'll be cautiously optimistic. It's just going to be a crazy game this weekend. But you're right. If Tennessee can just split, I think that would be great. Of course, as a fan, we want them to win every game. But with Tennessee's remaining schedule, don't overlook that Missouri game on the road. That's my game. Could be a really tough game.
I agree with
the
that.
9:00 game as well.
Yep.
Eastern. Mark Mitchell, fantastic player for Missouri. Coach Gates has had a great turnaround as far as his tenure there at Missouri.
And they have loud wins.
Put together a formidable squad of, once again, transfers.
What they're not, what Missouri isn't, they're not consistent night in and night out. But they get up for big games. They have some loud wins.
Well, Mark talked about Vanderbilt playing loose. Missouri can play pretty loose too.
Oh yeah,
they can.
That's their whole game.
They can handle pressure. They're just out there playing, man.
Yeah, and it's some nights it works. Some nights they get hammered. Some nights it works.
Yeah. Well, Mark brought up about Vanderbilt's point guard and Duke Miles. Mark's mentioned Duke Miles. So we were talking earlier about Oklahoma. How does Vanderbilt get a guy away from Oklahoma?
That's the point. Yeah.
Yeah, that shouldn't happen, should it?
If a coach is doing his job, no. Because your NIL, they obviously don't believe in him. They shouldn't have brought him back for another year. He made the tournament, and you got to feel like you got to bring a guy back. And here's so Matt, what do you think? Mark's assessment of Vanderbilt. What do you make of it?
Yeah, no, they're a really unique team with some really good guards. Obviously, they just don't have a lot of size and can't do anything inside. And that's where Tennessee's got to have a huge advantage in that game. I'm not sure it's a great matchup for Tennessee's guards on the perimeter. They can space the floor pretty well. They got a deadly 3-point shooter that you can't help off of, which at times Tennessee does a little too much. So I'm with Griff. If you can split those, I'd take that now because, like I said, I'd like those. Those could be like the Florida games last year, where each team kind of wins by 20 on their home court. Like I'm really kind of fascinated to see that play out because it's kind of a strength on weakness for both teams in a lot of areas.
And it's all
Mark, who on Vanderbilt could guard a Mint, and how much success do you think they can? Is that a game a Mint could go off in?
Well, they have a really good athlete, believe it or not, that was a walk-on when he started his career. I think he went to Cornell. Okereke, I think his name is.
Yeah,
he's from California. He's a senior, 6'7", great athlete. He's built like Dennis Rodman. I think that's the kind of guy that will put on a Mint. He's not looked to score as much. His role has mainly been defend, get a few rebounds a game, but he's 6'7", but he weighs around 240 to 250. I think that's the matchup you'll see. They've got another big kid, Jalen Washington, but he's 6'10". He's going to play more interior. And then McLaughlin, I mean, Ament would just blow by him, but I really like Devin McLaughlin. You guys will really love watching him play. He's 6'7", big guy, but he'll step out and shoot threes. And they're having more of a deeper bench now than they did starting off the season. One other injury, Frankie Collins is one of their top transfers as well, 4th team and 4-year guy. But he's been out the whole season. But they've had a kid named Bing that they bring in off the bench, is getting a lot more minutes. And he's a freshman. And has really improved. So they're running a lot more combinations, guys getting, more minutes, a lot more depth, which has really helped them.
Hey, Mark, a guy's a hell of a coach. He grows his team as the season goes along. He did it last year. The guy does a nice job, man. That's a really good hire by them.
Yeah, and not a lot of people knew who he was. Tony, I mean, we know a lot of people, a lot of coaches, and guys that were assistants at great programs. I must say, I didn't know anything about Byerton. I didn't even know how to pronounce his name. And now he's going to be a household name. He's going to be a hot commodity after this season if he decides to stay. Yep. But he's going to be one of those guys that you're going to hear about with openings. You're hearing about Kansas State now opening and who all's going to be involved. And I just think Byerton's going to be a guy that's going to get a lot of phone calls because of his style, the way he handles himself on the sideline. I've seen him in Nashville a couple times in person, and just well mannered, and just seems like a really great human being that a lot of these kids want to play for.
And that's half the battle. Guy listening to us is in the industry. Said that Oklahoma has a really bad facility. They have poor fan support. They have an average NIL in the sport. In fact, he said they're bottom 1/4 of the SEC in NIL right now on their roster. Bottom 1/4 in the league
in basketball.
And he says in hoops, really they've never drawn. They've really, even in their great years, they're a program that the coaches overachieved commensurate with the fan support. And they've played in final games. I mean, and we here draw 20,000 a night for Kevin O'Neal I mean, in Buzz Peterson's years, we draw Jedball. Jedball got 18, 19, 20,000, and we're still waiting. Okay, we're still waiting on the station for that train to arrive.
I had to think about
who Jedball is.
Yeah. Oh.
That's a great. Chris Lowe once tells that story when he was in the bowels of the old arena down there in Vanderbilt. Since we bring Vanderbilt up here, and Vanderbilt's on the top of my mind, and my mind's on my money, and your money's on my. Chris Lowe said he's down there, and there's a police officer standing down there, standing guard, And Jed walks up to him, and Jed says to the guy, "This is Jerry Green. Look at that belt buckle." He said, "I bet that belt buckle weighs 20 pounds. And that cop looked at Jerry Green like, what damn planet did you come off of? Jed was worried about the size of the guy's belt buckle. And CeeLo, shout out to you, because I hear CeeLo slayed last week, Griff. I hear he slayed at the tip-off club.
Oh, he's unbelievable.
20 pounds.
And
20 pounds.
Well-spoken.
20 pounds. 20 pounds. Griff, stay right there. I mean, we turn out, you talk about a fan base, and I realize how some of you are so twisted and distorted and see everything through the prism of, is this a Final Four team? But y'all need to relax. And on our next post-game show, y'all better act happy that we're playing damn basketball and that we're doing the show. William Patterson's up next with the Playbook. Love you.
You're listening to FM 105.7
We stay here and kick it.
And AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville. Fan Run Radio.
What's the verdict? And give me the verdict, John, while Griff's still here. The verdict on what happened with Joey Aguilar. Where's the verdict? We had a verdict? I don't think we're having a verdict.
Hell, I hope he doesn't come back, personally.
Griff, you can't say that. I said that, Griff.
Oh, well, we're not on the air, are we?
Yeah, we're on the air.
Oh, well, I hope he doesn't come back. I'm tired of 20-something-year-old kids, and yes, I hope that, he'll have a good career.
And he's a living ball fan. Yep.
But, there's a guy playing out west, 28 years old,
28.
ninth year.
Yep.
And then you're getting these quarterbacks get to come back. Chambliss shouldn't come back. When you play basketball and you're 18, you should be playing college against guys that are 3 or 4 years older than you max. Period.
That's why that Bediako thing.
6th year, 7th year.
Hey, Griff, that Bediako.
Lawyers you have.
Hey, Griff, that Bediako thing. That Bediako thing, Griff. Okay. That Bediako thing was an absolute disgrace, what Alabama pulled on this league. Tennessee shows up on a Saturday night, and there's a professional player out there. 3 years of pro ball training, John. It was a disgrace. Yes or no, John? Microphone. Yes or no? Talk to me here. What do you think? Disgrace, I say.
It didn't really bother me by that much, but it was pretty ludicrous.
It was ludicrous. Ludicrous. Great word.
But here's the thing, though, and this was brought up in the case. These European players, aren't they paid, and they still come over here and play college?
But they're the same age group. What he's saying is, and I agree with this, there is a marked difference. And Matt said this earlier. Matt, this is kind of your point. There's a marked difference between somebody 18 or 19 versus somebody 25. For instance, like this Curtis guy, right? Vanderbilt's quarterback this year. He might have all the damn talent in the world, okay? Are you betting on him or against him this year?
Oh, I'm betting against him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because he's 18 years old. I don't care how many kids he concussed at his level last year. He might be the greatest world champion of all time, for all we know, but he's going to be a kid when he plays this year.
If Aguilar can regain eligibility and play this year,
yes,
why couldn't he play in 27 also?
That's Mark's point. That's everybody's point in this thing. In other words, when does it end?
Junior college, if junior college doesn't count, but he still had to go through all that. I kind of like.
Why doesn't it count? That's the problem. You went to JUCO. Why? Grades. That's your fault. If you had the grades, guess what? No one will go to JUCO. That's why you go to JUCO. You don't go because you're like, I got an offer at Tennessee or San Jacinto or whatever it's called in Texas. Oh, I'm going to go down to Texas, play JUCO, gets 40 people. They're going to go to UT. So that's his decision that he made because he wasn't prepared, and now we're going to reward it. I don't agree. And then, John, back to your point about Europeans. I mean, I played ball overseas 6 years. Huge difference. These kids grow up. They don't come to college in America. They grow up in a system where it's the club level will recruit them, and it's usually in their own community, or they may give them a bus ticket to go to the next city, which they are being paid, yes, a bus ticket. And then some of your younger players do earn money. It's really normally not very significant, but they're not enrolled in college. So I think it's apples and oranges. I heard the other night someone mentioned Berg. They said, oh, he's from Israel. He played pro ball. Well, he grew up in that system because guess what? Israel didn't have college like they have in America. If Berg, for example, would have transferred to a prep school, let's say Montverde in Florida, and then went to college, then no one would have the conversation to say, oh, he's European. He made money. If he went to American school and then went to an American university, now we're talking apples versus apples. But just because someone's from Europe, it's a terrible comparison because it's not the American college system that says you quit playing for whatever reason. Let's say it's grades or you choose to go pro. Then what gives you the reason to say, oh, I'm going to go back? I will never understand that. Lawyers or not.
Griff, you just triggered some people, Griff. They call you saying you have a bad take. Not everybody goes to JUCO, goes there for grades. Some want to get bigger and become better athletes, then transfer.
I disagree. I disagree.
I don't know anything about
most kids, and I've known tons of college coaches that are JUCO, and Tony, one that comes to mind right now, very close to
great Donnie Tyndall. Yeah,
Donnie Tyndall. I mean, if Donnie Tyndall's recruiting a kid out of, let's say, Knoxville, and he's like, "Hey, you come play for me," or someone's recruiting him for UT Chattanooga, then they're not going to sit there and go, "Well, I'm going to go to JUCO because I'm going to get bigger, faster, stronger," versus going to Chattanooga, because let's face it. It's just not your primary choice. It's just not. Now, if anyone's listening that had to go to JUCO, chose to go to JUCO, they had a family member, a friend, lovely. Clarence Warrington went to JUCO, and then he transferred to Murray and then to Tennessee. That was his road. That's what he had to take based on academic decisions or results at that time. But no one, and I've coached travel ball 8 years, I've never had a kid come through a program going, man, I can't wait to finish my high school year, so I go JUCO. No, they're like D1 or even D2 or NAIA, but no one ever strives to go to JUCO.
Griff, I'm so shook over here. Matt Dixon, how do you reply to this? Do you agree with him?
No, I agree. I've said that there needs to be some kind of limit, and you can't just have guys that play into their late 20s in college football. It's just from Tennessee's perspective. If other schools are doing it, and taking advantage of it and beating you with players that are doing that, you might as well join them. So, but no, I agree with Griff that it's silly that you have these guys that, are trying to get 5th, 6th, 7th years and playing college football. That's not what it's for, but that's what it kind of is now.
And I sound like a complete and total simpleton saying I want to see the young kids play this fall because that's.
You know what? I want to see Trinidad Chambliss playing SEC football.
Well, you're going to get it. Court said he can play.
So
I don't.
I know.
And you know what's funny? Somebody on there said, which is a good point, James Daniel, who I like. He says, James, I like you. I don't know what you think. I like you. I know what you think about me. I like you. James says, if he gets an extra year, let's give Pavia an extra year. He said, I'd make that trade. Matt, would you make that trade? An extra year of Pavia for an extra year of Joey
Pavia
football?
Got the extra year last year. That's what
no, he says
Aguilar's
this year.
Trying to get now.
No, he says this year.
He wants another year for Pavia.
Because somebody said about Joey getting another year, then another year.
I said that.
Like, when does it end?
Well, I'm just looking at it from my own selfish interest is watching the sport. And I love college football, so the better quality is all the best for me. I'm fine with that. But I thought Mark made a very impassioned speech. I was impressed with that.
Well, and
good.
even with Chambliss, I mean, he's 23. He's not 26. But I just still, I go back to age, and then you can debate that and say, well, what if, you went to a lot of these kids, back in the day would hold back in their 8th grade.
That's right.
Get that extra maturity. Then they would go to a prep school. And so, you'd have guys graduating high school 20 years old. I remember Tony, and you remember this. I don't know if the kid was recruited by UT, but kid that went to Louisville, that was a freshman. A lot of interest in this kid. I don't know if his name was Mike Jones. I'm not sure, but he was. He had to. I don't think he got to play his senior year in high school because he aged out. But yet he's going to Louisville. He's like a 21-year-old freshman.
Let's go.
I would look.
Chris Jones.
Let's go.
You realize that Aguilar can make more money playing football next year, that he won't have to work again and won't have to deal with LinkedIn crap and sending out resumes and stuff. Does that change your opinion, Mark, at all?
You reward a kid because he can make more money. It's not about that. I mean, you have that's where I go back to timeline. You've had your time. You dealt with it, whatever personal issues you had to deal with. And believe me, I would love to see him play next year as well. But I just think, it's not really fair for me to go, well, I want him to play at Tennessee, but I don't want anybody else to be able to play. I don't want Chambliss to play. I don't want Pavia to play or any other quarterback that's 28 or 27. I don't want that. So I have to be fair about Tennessee too, to say, well, look, if I'm going to feel that way, I can't change that because it's he's wearing orange and white.
Man, I'd look forward to seeing a 28-year-old Pavia lining up against a 26-year-old Chambliss in the SEC championship game. What a game that would be.
I stand with Matt Dixon, though. At some point, there's got to be a pushback here. But there are no guardrails. Courts are deciding it all.
It could be sponsored by AARP. I mean, it could be great. We got all kinds of sponsors.
Yep.
Put a logo on their jersey.
Yep.
I mean,
in fact, that's legal now. You can legally now put. That's a little legislation they passed that people don't realize. You're going to start seeing sponsor patches on these uniforms. They're going to look like European soccer jerseys pretty soon, Bri.
Man, can you imagine Pavia's the decals on his jersey?
Oh my gosh!
My gosh,
Goya.
Well, they'll limit like they do NBA, as far as what you can have, the size.
Yep.
And what's interesting, I had to talk to someone just the other day about this. The opportunities for earnings for the institution. It's like, since this is so new, I asked this individual, I said, well, how are you going to determine what it costs to put an emblem on a jersey? You have no baseline. So he said that's the thing that they're looking at, because let's say you're putting, I'll just throw out like GoDaddy on UT jersey for football? Is it going to be all sports, lady vols, baseball, soccer, and everything? Or do you go GoDaddy just for football and then you spread it to someone else for a different sport? So you've got all these different factors that are going to come into play and a lot of negotiating school to school. And you'll have people in the sales arena that are going to be putting that together from these various companies, pitching them to all this, to these different ADs.
I would, if Pavia, I don't think Pavia will play at Vanderbilt anymore, but even if he doesn't, I hope they still have a Pavia section. I want to see that Pavia family.
Oh my!
Games.
What could their family? His mom could get like Pall Mall, Matt. What are some of the different products that the Pavia family could represent, Matt? If they let him put stuff on his jersey. Ooh. The Lotto.
A Nashville bail bondsman.
Bail bondsman for his brothers. I love me some Pavia. Yeah, when they got arrested in Neyland Stadium, when the one brother got arrested and the other one came what? Close to getting arrested. Yeah, it's so great. And the mother, who's 39 and olden, yeah, it's so next level. I love the Pavias. Griff, you're my man. Is there anything else you'd care to get into? Or would you like to expire? Talk to me.
I'm ready to expire. Thank y'all for having me.
Love you, Griff.
Love being on here. Love you guys. And,
thank you, my man.
Go Vols.
Thank you, my man. Go Vols to you. Enjoy the game tomorrow night. That
was a great speech Mark delivered.
On the well, he's very passionate about.
Yeah, I thought that was great. I mean, I don't agree with it because I just want to see these guys play.
Yeah, you're into. I want to be entertained.
Yeah,
he's into what's better for the sport. Unfortunately, your side wins because if we were really doing what's better for these sports, Rick Pitino would have had his way. We would have a football league that's separate, a truncated football league that's over here in its own compartment, and then every other league would have stayed intact for every other sport. That's what they should have done. Now we've got women's basketball teams that make $0 and women's volleyball team. If you see these athletic departments, they're going broke now. Rutgers is having to fly these kids all over the country. They lost like $30 million last year. Do you know how expensive it must be for a school to take a team, think about this, and fly to Los Angeles and get lodging, the food to feed them for 2 or 3 days sitting out there. You got to play both teams. That's what they're doing now. You play both teams. You're out there for 3 nights, 2 nights, 3 nights, whatever it is. John, you imagine how expensive that must be?
Yeah.
And nobody thought that through.
And you're Rutgers.
You're never going to win.
However many sports it is.
Right.
But it's all about the money. Why in the world would the Big Ten say, oh, man, I just think how good our conference would be if we could get Rutgers.
Right. None of that was thought through.
It's all about market.
The problem is, yes, you play in New York.
Yeah.
But
how
does
much
NYU.
Yeah, but
who the hell cares about NYU?
No,
that's
nobody.
Right.
You're right, Brad. Nobody cares about Rutgers football.
They play in Tennessee. So does Carson Newman. I mean, no offense to Carson Newman, but no offense. None of it makes any sense. And what they've done now is we've got a Power 6. Forgot all about that. Because, listen, Sacramento State the other day, did you see what they did?
They're joining the MAC.
What is MAC short for, Bri? Mid-American Conference. Now, I realize
Midwest, it implies Midwest.
If you're a Kentucky fan, you know what mid is, but you're not in the MAC.
But
and Sacramento State, they're mid. That's pretty mid out there. Whatever they're doing in Sacramento. What the hell are they doing in the MAC?
I mean, they're going to have to.
Teams are going to have to fly out there to go play them for
and
no
you know
paycheck.
What it makes I love about the MAC is you've got all these Ohio teams.
Yes.
Why is the MAC doing this? Surely they're not saying, well, we want to get in that California market. No.
I think I saw where Sacramento State's actually footing the travel bills for all the teams that go out there.
I mean, what is Sacramento State
they're not
doing?
Like they're kind of doing like what SMU did with the ACC, where they're kind of buying their way into the conference. So I'm not sure where their money's coming from, but they apparently have enough to fund all this.
As a great
I did
Al
read
Brown,
where they have more money than you'd think somewhere.
Sacramento Gold. As Al Brown told me, when the MAC teams made it, when he was at the MAC Ball State, and they would make a bowl game, the AD was over there going, oh, no, because now I got to pay for my football team to go to a bowl game. They lose money on that. People don't realize that. It's expensive. Think about how much it costs to take a family of 4 on a vacation. Now think about how much it takes a football team of 125 and take them on that same vacation. And come back to me. Your $600,000 payout disappears pretty damn quickly.
So is Sacramento State going to be in the MAC in 2026?
Yes. Are you excited about that? Does that move the needle for you?
No, I mean, I want to watch Kent State and Akron play every Tuesday.
Say, that's right.
I don't want to see Sacramento State.
And that begs another question, Matt. When they're on a Tuesday night and they're playing at 8 o'clock, is that a 5 o'clock kickoff out there?
Yeah.
Is that what they're signing up for?
What about
5 o'clock on a Tuesday night kickoff?
Okay, but they fly
Tuesday night Maxon in Sacramento. It's what college football's supposed to be.
But think, Matt, if you're at Sacramento State and you're flying east to play at Kent State on a Tuesday night, so you leave on Monday, so you come back on. What about class attendance? I mean, that's outdated, but how many classes would these guys work in?
That's the other thing, right? You got to sit there and tell me you're in John, what's Woodside Energy? You're from Louisiana. They are the first ever sponsor affiliation that's going to appear on a uniform, as LSU announced a partnership with them on Monday morning, beginning the 26-27 season. A multi-year deal facilitated by Playfly Sports. LSU announced a multimedia deal with them, first of its kind. They're going to appear on their uniforms. A purple and gold design logo patch of the oil company will be featured on all 21 LSU sports teams, as well as, John, their practice jerseys.
Boy, I'm just...
When does it end?
You know, growing up in Louisiana, I never thought of it as a wealthy state, but LSU is right at the top.
When does it end? Yeah, they're not a wealthy state. They just have a few people that'll spend crazy money on it.
Well, gosh.
Matt, are you for it? Are you for this, Matt?
No, I think the company logo patches on jerseys is
abhorrent.
No, I'm not. I'm not for it at all.
Abhorrent.
This company's from Australia. Originated in Australia.
Wow.
So, when will
if United Arab Emirates came to Danny White, okay, their airline, that Emirate airline thing, and said, or some Saudi Arabian concern, and said, hey, we'll give you $100 million to put our jersey on your patch, or our patch on your jersey. It's an orange. You can make it whatever you want to make it. Would they do it, John?
Yes.
Yeah. Matt, would they do it?
Yeah, for $100 million, absolutely they would.
Yeah,
and that's what we're going to run into here.
How many players can you buy there? What's going to happen though when players
their own deals?
They might have their own uniform.
That's right.
Here's what I wear. We need you to wear green and blue.
Yeah. Well, that's already gone on with like Nate Ament, because he has his own shoe deal already for next year.
Yeah, but shoes.
But he's wearing their shoes this year.
But he's still wearing the Tennessee uniform.
Right.
I mean,
let's go to the phones. It's very thought-provoking.
How many calls have we had today?
Well, let's get our first one. Hello, welcome in. You're on the air.
How are my French compatriots doing today?
W. Lynn, welcome in.
Doing well, W. Lynn.
I was looking at some stats here in the basketball media guide, Tony, and to prove your point.
What year basketball guide, W. Lynn?
It's this year's. It's 25-26.
I don't even have a press guide this year.
We have had 37 years, they count, in the Thompson Bowling Arena. They didn't count one because of the COVID. In 29 of the 37, we've been in the top 15 in America in attendance. In 23, we've been in the top 10.
23 of how many years?
37.
37 in the top 10.
Wow.
And the four Buzz years, or 4 of his years, were the 4 of the worst 8.
Imagine how hot a ticket you'd have if you were playing at Stokely now.
Oh, and I'm looking at the Stokely numbers. Besides a couple of years from 68 on, we were in the top 15 in that. And then, because our arena could only hold 12,700. Now, there was a few games they got over 13,000 in there, and the fire marshal put an end to that.
There was a great atmosphere in there. I covered a game.
Did you
there.
say 23 of 37 years in the top 10 in attendance? What was the first number you gave?
23 of 37, top 10. Last year we were third.
Okay. And what was the other one? And what was the other number you gave? You gave another number.
Well, 29 of the 37 were top 15. That's some bad basketball during some of that time.
Do you know if they were leading the country in attendance in a top 10 when they played back at Alumni Hall?
It's not in the media guide. I do have some old media guides. They might have that in there, but no, I doubt it, Brian. Even our first year in the new Stokely, 66-67, which is our first year to the NCAA, we only averaged 8,200. So Mears got it cranking. After that, it's 11,000 almost or more every year. Ernie and Bernie the last 2 years was 6th in the nation, and that's just because our arena, there was 5 arenas we couldn't pass,
W. Lynn, that's an excellent stat that speaks exactly to what I'm talking about, which is this.
Yeah.
We deserve to make that passage into the promised land. It won Final Four. It's unbelievable, John. You could draw that many people and have never gone to a Final Four. It's unbelievable.
Look at the SEC programs that have been to the Final Four.
It makes me sick.
Georgia.
It's sickening.
Mississippi State. Ole Miss went to the Final Four, did it?
Oh,
no.
Miss.
Mississippi State.
I don't count anything that didn't happen in the 64-team bracket era. Doesn't really count in my mind.
Okay,
well,
Brad. Well, in the 64,
that's kind of restrictive.
Mississippi State still did it. Mississippi State did it.
Yeah, and Auburn's done it, and that's sickening too.
Twice with our coach, no less.
I know it.
If Bruce Pearl would have stayed here, would he have taken Tennessee to a Final Four? John, yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Sure.
Yes.
Matt, yes or no?
Yes, he would have got there eventually. Absolutely.
He was too big for the program. He was too big for the boosters, like Johnny Majors,
like
Tony Ray Mears in a way,
like Tony Vitello.
Yeah, and when you ask those questions, you got to have a caveat with the full support of the administration.
Yep.
Then we'd have been to Final Fours.
But Arkansas and Florida State, they're looking at Tennessee in baseball like we're looking at those teams in basketball.
And Zach's
They've been better at their sport for so long. When Tennessee comes along and hasn't been really great,
great
they
point,
win an
Brian.
Natty in baseball before they do.
And that's why Dave Van Horn, according to The Athletic, talked Tony Vitello. It's what Tony told her, the San Francisco Examiner, Tony told the Examiner in a long-form interview, Dave Van Horn's a guy really that talked me into leaving.
Do you think if you had to bet yes or no, would you bet Tony Vitello ends up as Arkansas's baseball coach?
That is a layup. Within 5 years, I would
If
say.
he wants it, he's got it.
Layup.
That'll be sickening, too.
Layup.
Because they care more about baseball almost now than football, it looks like.
Zach said at Florida, where they don't even care enough to even show up, they could give two damns about. Let me tell you something. Last year we were in Clearwater for the SEC tournament. I was down there for baseball and a little visit with my brother, and a little soiree. And we walked into a place to watch the Tennessee game. It was a quarter full. There were about 15 Florida fans in there. I was repping the Vols. They didn't say one word to me. It was dead atmosphere. They could care less down there. And I asked somebody, I asked a Florida fan, I said, where are all the Florida fans here? He said, this is a good crowd. This is actually a pretty good showing for this.
Good grief.
Well, they didn't fill up what is O'Connell Center is maybe
11,000.
I was thinking 12. Okay. They didn't fill it up always when they had two of the best teams ever in SEC history.
And it still smells like chlorine in there.
Yeah. And a Georgia fan, we knew these Georgia fans in the early 80s that made us sick. And we were down in Atlanta to do something, and I think maybe go to a Braves game. Well, no, it wasn't baseball season yet. It was into basketball. And they were rubbing in their national title in 80 and all this. And we said, well, what do you think about Georgia being in the Final Four? I kid you not. Not one person that was a Georgia fan even knew they were in the Final Four. Of about 6 guys.
See? 6 guys. That's a good anecdote right there.
And me and my friends just looked at each other like, I can't believe this. That they're in the Final Four.
That was a good team. And that was the team after.
You're the man.
After Dominique Wilkins left.
That was a weird era of sports because after Ralph Sampson left Virginia, they went to the Final Four with a guy named Olden Polynice.
Well,
the weird era there, man.
That Georgia was a part of that really good Final Four. I got to cover the
Dale Brown's Final Four team was what year?
80-81 when they lost to Bobby Knight in the semifinals.
They made it in 86 too, I think.
Yes. And he would go on TV and call Bobby Knight a bully. Oh. And when he was the real bully. That's my favorite thing about Dale Brown.
He said they didn't cheat to get John Williams from L.A. They called him the Louisiana Purchase back in the day.
It's pretty next level. I love those days, man.
Yeah. You didn't need $1 billion back then to fund a program. You just needed a.
Hey, Bri, is UMass in the? Is UMass in the?
Tony, I was making a
I'm
point.
sorry. Somebody just told me UMass is in the MAC too. Did you guys know that?
Oh yeah, I knew they were there.
Yeah,
but I was okay with that because UMass is so bad. I like watching them play.
Didn't Temple get thrown out of the MAC at one point?
What?
They got thrown out of the MAC.
No, they got thrown out of our league for being non-competitive. You're right.
They weren't thrown out of the MAC, though.
No, they were in the MAC for a while. Temple was in the MAC.
What?
No, Bri.
No way.
No, Bri. Maybe
they were.
Maybe they were.
Well, Buffalo's in the MAC.
Hey, Big Dog in Tennessee wants to know, Matt, how does Tony Hogs? Does it have a nice ring to it for you? Tony Hogs.
It's absolutely disgusting. And on that note, I've got to hop off.
Do you believe Tony Hogs wins a natty, Matt? There, if he gets a job.
Yeah, I think Vitello wins a natty if he comes back to college baseball. Absolutely.
He'll get that Walmart family in there. They will have he'll win them over first thing.
He'll have the blue light special.
Oh man, he'll go in there.
Let's get our next call in. It's gross. Hi, you're on the air. Ella.
Oh, what's going on, Lee?
Hey, Lee. Are you on like a speaker or something? I can hardly hear you. You sound distant.
Yeah, man, I think I got you.
You sound cold, alone, and yesterday.
So, real quick, can we not be miserable? Let's just not be miserable for 5 years and worry about Tony Vitello going to Arkansas. Let's just don't worry about it. Feels like everybody else is miserable enough about the basketball team. Let's just not even worry about that.
What do you make of the misery over the basketball team, Lee?
I mean, I personally don't get it, but I realize I'll probably watch it way more basketball than the average person does. I put it all into perspective. Like, I actually like this team. Like, I enjoy the hustle, the defense, the rebounding. Like, I enjoy seeing Nate Ament progress. Like, I thought Gillespie, like, the other night, like, the two threes he hit with, like, 10 minutes to go when that game was close, like, I thought were big. Like, I enjoy it. I don't know, man. People have their own things. They want to, like, it just kind of blows my mind. These guys have been going at it for like 4.5 months, man. Like, travel, practice games. Like, I respect it. And not every game is going to be perfect. And I enjoy the team personally.
And John, these guys are a little bit maddening, right? But you can pick things apart about any team. But like John's right, there are so many great young players. You turn on college basketball on a nightly basis right now, it's a pretty good product.
It's a very good price, so much better than it was 5 or 6 years ago.
Not even close.
And Brian, I think Brian brought it up, and I want to confirm his take. Temple was in the MAC. It was in it for 4 years and wanted to get out 2007 through 11. And it paid the MAC $6 million.
God, get out!
I mean, think about that.
Let's go, Temple. I forgot all about it, man.
So how about the MAC for really, really using Temple? I mean,
wow,
that's great stuff.
Lee, what do you think of some action on a Tuesday night, 5 o'clock kickoff in Sacramento, brother? Can you imagine flying out there for one of those games?
It better not start at 5, man. I'm going to be all about some, like, 1 a.m. action in Sacramento. That's what I'm talking about. Give me, like, some doubleheader Tuesday night action.
That's not a bad idea, a Tuesday night doubleheader. I bet they're probably thinking about that. Let's own Tuesdays.
Oh, you know they are. Because they have no respect for time. They will play any time.
Well, they have no respect for your time and my time. Penn State the other night, while I'm bitching here on Garza Law, Tennessee basketball overtime, I said, thank God I'm not doing Garza Law Penn State basketball overtime. They had a 10:35 tip-off the other night. 10:35 for Penn State basketball. For the maybe 30 people in the state of Pennsylvania that stood up and watched that game. Are you kidding me?
Where were they playing? In Southern Cal or something?
Freddie DeLeon in Washington. 10:30 tip-off.
Matt was right, though. Sacramento State is footing the bill for all the travel. For every team that flies out there, they're going to pay for it.
Phenomenal.
They're doing just what SMU is doing. They're just buying their way in. I don't know if they're thinking if the super conferences eventually come, then maybe that gives them a leg in. If they're showing that they're going to spend money, that's the only thing I can think of.
I mean, is Pellissippi State next? Do they buy their way? Sac State?
But think about this. Temple paid the MAC $6 million to leave, and now Sacramento is paying the MAC to join. I mean, the MAC's like they're shrewd businessmen in
one
that
man's
league.
Trash and another man's treasure.
I like the way the MAC is managing things.
MAC's operating.
Respect the hustle, man.
Yeah.
No question. But yeah, so as far as I was going to say the basketball team. Like, look. I hear a lot of this stuff, and I understand, like, there's a point in the time where, like, negativity, I get it. Like, we're being critical. Like, there's a place for that, for sure. But I think with, like, a lot of this fan base that's kind of bled over into your show, man, it's like, you're to the point now where it's like boy cried wolf territory. Like, I'm not going to pay you any attention when you're being critical. When it's after every game, like.
That's exactly right.
I've heard some people say, well, it's because the blown losses to Kentucky. I'm like, look, this started way before the Kentucky games. Like, this started since the beginning of the year with a lot of these people.
I remember you calling in one post-game, Lee, and screaming at the top of your lungs. Do you people watch college basketball? Or are you so myopic that you're only watching us? Because it is the sport of college basketball. First of all, it's a game of runs at every level. And secondly, there are turnovers in every game. Everybody commits them. There are stupid decisions. Everybody does them. And there are coaching blunders. Everybody does them. It's called college sports.
Oh, it's the low mid majors, high majors, like Power 4 conference. It's all over the place. For everybody that thinks Tennessee is so maddening to watch and so hard to watch and so frustrating to watch, I can give you a list of 200 other teams that are way, way worse. That would put you in an insane asylum if you watched them play.
Lee's bringing it. Lee is taking you under wing right now, living Negavaw.
And like I said, I'm not saying not to be. There's certainly things you can be critical of the team. I get it.
Yeah.
Like they're valid points on the team, but I don't know. I try to put it into perspective. Like I've said this all the time. Like I don't put as much emphasis on that tournament than a lot of people because it is a made-for-TV event. Like it's concocted to fill out your bracket, Elite Eight, Final Four, and that's ingrained in everybody's head. And like I said, this is like a 5-month sport, man. I'm not going to boil it all down to what happens in one game. And I know it's how they determine the champion, and I wouldn't change any of it. I'd keep it. I don't ever want to change it. But I'm not going to make broad generalizations about coaches, teams, or players based on the result of that tournament.
John, is Rick Barnes any less?
It's randomness.
Is Rick Barnes any less of a coach because he's not good at the random tournament at the end of the year when he's actually been pretty good at it, actually? But since he hasn't had multiple Final Fours, is he a lesser coach for that?
I think he's viewed as a lesser coach because that's...
But is he in your mind? Because he's not in my mind.
No.
He's a great coach.
Well, he's a really good coach, and he's a Hall of Fame coach, and he's won all these games. But that's how sports works. I mean, you got to win a championship to be considered one of the greatest coaches of all time.
So Kevin Ollie is a better coach than Rick Barnes? I mean, that's what we're talking about.
No, but I'm not saying he's better. No, but if you're trying to choose between Coach K and Rick Barnes, both coaches won a lot of games, but Coach K did better in the tournament. There was a long time where Dean Smith didn't do great in the NCAA tournament.
That's right.
Didn't win a championship.
That's right. You're right.
So, no, it doesn't mean you could be a great coach. I mean, you could be a great coach, maybe never make the NCAA tournament. I mean, if you don't have ever get the players, maybe, gosh.
The randomness of what happens to us in March. I mean, losing our big man and then getting put out in a crip game at the end of a blowout game, and then getting beat by Porter Moser's team who can't get out of his own way, can't walk and chew gum at Oklahoma. It's crazy, Lee.
Yeah, I mean, look, unless you've got a team that is just so stacked that you can rise above that variance, like Coach K won titles because he had the best teams. Like Rick Barnes has never had the best team. Like he's gotten the last 2 years, he's gotten beaten by better teams. Like when he took Texas to the Final Four, he got beat by a better team. That's generally how it's going to work for the most part.
Well, you look at John Calipari at Kentucky, and he won, one national title there?
With the Untouchables.
And he had some, NBA stars.
Buddy, they were stacked and packed. I mean, come on now.
He's the one coach that I actually would put some type of generalization on because there's no excuse for the team he had at Memphis not winning with Rose and the teams at Kentucky. Those are kind of inexcusable, man. He had those teams that should not have lost.
Here's a great example. Jay Wright was called a choker for the first 10 or 15 years of his career. He couldn't get out of the first round with good teams. And then all of a sudden he puts a collection of talent together and they go win 2 natties.
Do you think Tennessee...
They shot 70%. Did Jay Wright become just this all-time... Did he make some drastic changes to his coaching style, or did his team get really hot and shoot 70% in that one run? And I think that's probably what happened, and that's why he won.
Do you think Rick Barnes will make the Final Four at Tennessee?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he will with this team. I don't think he will with this team. I don't know.
No,
what
I don't mean
have.
This team. I mean ever.
I'd like to think so. Yeah, I'd like to think so.
I mean, he's stacking he's putting together really, really talented rosters. So, I mean,
Yep.
He's got him. If he can put one that's good enough together, that's better than like I said. The last 2 years, I honestly think like 2 years ago, the Connect team was only going to get beat by 2 teams in that tournament, and they got matched up with one in their own region in Purdue. Like they weren't beating Purdue or UConn, but I think they would have beaten anybody else. And last year there were 4 great teams. We all knew about those 4 teams all year long, and they all made the Final Four. And we were the team right after them. They just weren't as good as them.
We always get beat by the Final Four team, too.
Yeah, but when you look at this thing, Tennessee's had some really good coaches. I mean, Ray Mears.
How about Bruce Pearl doing twice at a place like
Bruce Pearl and Rick Barnes.
Where they were drawing.
But
Auburn was drawing 5,000 people again.
I know. But what about if that?
I mean, shit.
But think about it this way. Tennessee's has the fan support. It's had the coaches. And in the NIL era, it's got some money. So you would just think the law of averages at some point would come into play in Tennessee. If not win a national title, would make the Final Four.
Totally agree. Hey, Lee, on the way out, who do you like tonight? Give me a play. Favorite play out there tonight?
Oh man, there's a lot of good games tonight. Virginia Tech is playing at Miami. They're catching 8.5 points. I think it's a really strong play on Virginia Tech. It's typical Virginia Tech. Like they had a huge win last week, then they go and just crap the bed at home to Florida State, put themselves back outside the bubble. Miami's coming off of a huge win at NC State. They shouldn't have probably won. It's a really good spot to play Virginia Tech plus the 8.5 tonight.
Virginia Tech plus 8.5. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, my friends at VIP Play. That's a slam dunk right there. Go play your get your VIP Play welcome bonus. You bet $20, you get $100 in bonus bets instantly. The promo code, the phrase that pays is TN Tony. All kinds of Olympic stuff there as well. Curling. We're in the elimination rounds in hockey right now. That's men's hockey. Not women's hockey. No offense to women's hockey. It's okay. But man, this tournament here, this gold medal thing is going to be, this medal round stuff's going to be nuts. But we're in the playoff round there. It's live always, 200-plus leagues, numerous bet types, props options. You got it. VIP Play will treat you like a VIP. That's why everybody gets treated like a VIP at VIP Play. 800-889-9789, 21 and over, located in the state of Tennessee to place a bet. Lee, anything else for us on the way out?
I like Virginia Tech, and I like Central Florida at home against TCU. TCU is coming off an overtime win at Oklahoma State, having to travel to UCF in 2 days' notice and take on a UCF team that's coming off of a really bad loss. It's got to get back in the win column. So that game's about a pick 'em. UCF -1. Yeah, those are the 2 plays I like the most.
Thank you, Lee.
Well, don't cut Lee off. I have a question for him.
He's gone. Go ahead. What was the question?
I wonder how many teams Lee could name one starting player on in college basketball.
I bet it's scary. Yep.
100?
Probably way more than that. Because if you're gonna gamble on that stuff and you're gonna do it night in and night out, you better know the players.
So maybe 200.
Yeah. I bet the living, breathing basketball gambler knows a lot of hoops.
I don't see how they can know much about anything else, though. I mean, how you'd have to devote so much time, all those teams. I mean, he's speaking of, gosh, just even Virginia Tech. They're off my radar.
They're off the radar.
What is how
the
good
great
is
Mike Young, who I love and have served all these years.
I don't know anything about Virginia Tech this year.
Back to the phones we go.
It's Mike Young and Steve Forbes both went to the ACC from the Southern Conference, where they used to be at Wofford and I guess East Tennessee State.
Dominant.
And neither of them really have. I mean, I guess Mike Young's maybe made one tournament.
Poor Steve Forbes, John. How do you figure that? Goes to Wake Forest to Brand. They've got money. I mean, they're over in the ACC. Well, they have to have some money. It's a great private school. Surely you got people in your base that can...
It's a very small school.
It's a tiny school, yeah. Hi, welcome in. You're on the air.
What's up, guys? Josh.
Hey, Wingo.
Hey.
Did Wingo play, Rich Wingo, did he play at LSU, or am I imagining that? Was there?
Yeah, he did. Ryan Wingo.
Ryan Wingo plays wide receiver for Texas.
How about Rich Wingo? You remember Rich Wingo? I want to say he played at LSU.
But there was a Wingo that played at LSU, though, John. I remember.
And he ought to know because he's under Wingo. Let me look here. Hang on.
Under Wingo.
Hang on. Rich Wingo school. Rich Wingo school. Rich Wingo. Okay. Played for the Green Bay Packers.
Was he a defensive player?
Member of the House of Representatives of 62nd District. He's a Republican. He went to the University of Alabama. He resides in Tuscaloosa. Rich Wingo.
But
So
not LSU.
He's political. No.
I don't remember him. When did he play? Nobody cares about
Zach
this. Let's
Mania
move.
said...
Quit trying to take away my phone call.
Zach Mania said which Wingo? That's pretty good. I like that.
Can I get to my phone call now?
I asked yes, Zach. I got to tell you one thing, though.
Zach? What the hell are you?
What'd I say?
You said Zach. I'm Josh. God, Tony.
I didn't mean Zach's talking over here. It's just, I'm all.
He's got like 3 different groups he communicates with during the show now, Josh.
Go ahead, Josh.
Yeah, first question is, they're going to do it this season, starting in Major League Baseball. They're going to go to the challenge system. When do you think they'll start doing it for college baseball, ABS?
They needed to do it 5 years ago. They've needed to do it. It will not take any time at all, unlike these other replays in sports. It's the easiest thing in sports to replay.
What are you replaying?
Balls and strikes, and you go like
Balls
this.
and strikes.
The pitcher makes a motion. Boy, he blew himself up there. If he calls back, I'll put him back on. Let me see. Is this Wingo?
Yeah.
You blew yourself up, Wingo. I was at a spring training game last year in the Smokies. If you go to Smokies, they do it there in minor league ball. Ball comes over the plate. You look at the umpire and you go like this. You tap your helmet. They look at it. They buzz down immediately, whether it was in the box or not.
Pisses me off.
God,
what
pisses you off?
They said
you don't like it. You don't like it?
No, they were asking Chris Sell in an interview, and they were like, "Are you going to challenge it this year if it comes down to that?" And Chris Sell said no.
Oh, I would. If I threw a strike and he called it a ball,
yeah,
you damn straight. But only the guys on the field can challenge.
Oh man, I'm tired of all these. I'm tired of these challenges.
No, it takes 2 seconds.
I don't care how long it takes.
A second. It takes a second.
I don't care.
It's instantaneous almost.
It's just like
no more bad called strike threes. Chris Burke is in favor of it forever. You know why? In college umpiring, and listen, if you're an umpire and you work in college umpiring, I'm not speaking to you. But the college umpiring is trash.
I think that's a harsh assessment.
If you're a college umpire, I'm not talking about you. I want you to know that.
It's really hard to be a college umpire. I know the fans give them a lot of crap for it. You know how good you got to be to really call balls.
I couldn't do it because you have to have balls to sit back here and call balls and strikes. My son the other day was umpiring a JV game. He enjoyed it. He umpires.
Yeah.
Young Anthony. He's under wings.
But what I'm saying is, Tony, imagine a 101 fastball coming across the plate and saying it's like 3-2. Imagine how hard it'd be to call a ball or strike.
Well, that's my point.
You know?
That's my point. Yes.
Situation.
Well,
and that's why you go like this, John.
No, let's don't eliminate the human factor. Come on. Good
I want replay out of all sports, but if you're going to have it, use it. And Burke's right. They should have it in college ball. They can do it in minor league ball. They can do it in college ball.
God, I just get so tired of replays in college basketball.
They've taken them out.
The challenge system in college basketball, if you win your first challenge, you automatically get another challenge, right?
That's correct.
Yes.
Okay.
And if you lose, you give up a timeout. And you never see them challenge early in games unless it's just a dead level call. You never see them give up. In the first half, very seldom is somebody going to challenge a call.
I just think that's stupid because I think you should have 2 like you do in the NFL. And,
This interminable end of games in college basketball, they've got to figure something out, John. It takes eternity.
They need to erase going to the monitor like every 5 to 7 minutes.
Well, that's a referee thing, and they love getting their derrieres on television. I'm convinced that some of these guys go on YouTube and work out to like old episodes of Buns of Steel, and then they want to show their derrieres on television.
Hey, Tony, have we even seen Teddy V and Thompson this season?
No, I haven't noticed him, no.
Where has he been?
I don't know. TV Teddy, maybe he's gotten downgraded.
Yeah. Is Matt still here or no?
Matt left.
Oh, I was going to ask him an Astros question.
Well, we were starting talking about the Tony Vitello stuff, and he was.
Yeah.
You could tell he was starting to get pissed.
Is he getting emotional?
Yeah, he got pissed.
Yeah. John, so I have an LSU question for you. Do you think LSU is going to be really good this season with all the additions they made in the portal, or do you think it's going to come back to bottom and they could have a disaster season?
No, I think they'll make the playoff.
Joshua boy, thank you. That's 2 rather loud dismounts from you, and the first one destroyed my ears, and that one opened up my sinuses.
What happened?
I can breathe more deeply. Well, there's a funny story behind that. One night, Matt was watching me on Periscope back in the old days, 7 or 8 years ago, and it was back when I used to stay on 7 or 8 hours. It was the night Tennessee beat Florida, and I fell asleep on the air. And a caller was talking while I fell asleep, and I had like a spit yo-yo going down, like you could see, like I was drooling at the right side of my mouth.
I don't want to hear about that.
John, I was
Move
dreaming
it along.
Hang on. I was dreaming at the right side of my mouth.
God.
And
nobody wants to hear that.
Well, you could see it on the camera. I had like
nobody cares. Come on.
Well, somebody was talking, and they hung the phone up, and it did that noise, and it jarred me back awake. And Matt said it's one of the craziest looking things. It gave me like one of those.
It was like
things where you wake up and you have that adrenaline and your heart's racing.
Yeah,
you ever
it's
get
like
one of those?
shock therapy.
You ever get one of those? They're wild. I get them when I sleep sometimes. You're like laying there and you're sleeping, and all of a sudden.
No, I've never had that.
Oh, I get that a lot. Adrenaline.
The barbecue sauce bottle breaking is my favorite.
Yep. Well,
what was that? Barbecue? What?
I broke a bottle. I had a Calhoun's bottle of barbecue sauce in here, a glass bottle, and I broke it on the floor one night. And the Periscope was like just my phone, so I took my phone and showed everybody that and Laura, I didn't want her to know about it, so I sat in here and went in the other room and got paper towels while people were talking, and I was on the hands and knees cleaning up the barbecue sauce, a whole bottle with glass shards and everything. Man, now they have that stuff in plastic bottles.
You've had quite a career.
Okay, so who was I talking to the other day? We had somebody over making fun of you. Oh, Higgins, Ron Higgins.
Oh yeah.
And Higgins goes, my favorite thing about John Adams is he can look right at you, and you don't know whether he's kidding or not. He said, and I was in his wedding, and I still to this day, when he comes and visits me or whatever, he'll look right at me and he'll say something. And it's the most sardonic, droll, dry sense of humor deal of all time. And hi, this is Tony.
What?
Hi, this is Tony. Yeah, hi.
This is Emily. I'm calling your property. So
Hey, Emily, how you doing? Emily, what's the word? Talk to me.
What the word of the what?
The word. What's the word?
Yeah, I'm calling you about your property.
Thunderbird. And what's the price? You never heard that slogan? What's the word? Thunderbird. What's the price? 40 twice. You ever heard it?
That
old slogan?
It's outdated.
Oh, she hung up on me.
What's the word?
I've asked those people from that number to take me off their list about 150,000.
What do they want to buy your house?
Oh God!
I get those every day.
For $50,000. Like, hello, yeah, I want to buy my house for $50,000. I mean, shit, man.
They want to buy your house for $50,000.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
they must think you're a complete moron.
I told them. I said, I'll tell you what. I'll sell you my house. The guy goes, how much? How much? Oh. I said, how about $1 million? Oh, $1 million. I said, well, I mean, come on, bro.
Did the person calling actually sound like that?
The boiler room in Bangladesh, the new Officer Beef is trying to buy your house.
Yeah, that woman's, that's what they're doing. The broken English and, no offense.
Where is she headquartered?
Hey, guys, I got to roll. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Well, the phone was a Sevierville phone. I guarantee you they're trying to work some scam somewhere. But Emily's now a friend of the show, according to Dr. Z DDS.
So
she goes up there with Officer Beef. Emily and Officer Beef. Officer Beef was this guy that used to call back when they would call about the IRS. You ever get one of those calls?
Yeah.
And you owe money.
Yeah.
So I told this guy my name was Jimmy Sexton, and I really owed a bunch of back taxes. And he goes, oh, this was right on the air. Bino was in here with me. He goes, oh, Jimmy Sexton. I said, listen. I said, I represent I got to come clean with you since you're calling from the IRS. I represent a bunch of NFL players. I said, I owe at least $8 million. And he goes, oh, Jimmy Sexton. That's what he said to me. And then he realized I was messing with him and he hung up on me. But at first he said Jimmy Sexton for Jimmy Sexton.
Jimmy Sexton.
Yeah. And now there's a thing called Jimmy Sexton. And he identified himself when I called him back because he left a number as, this is Officer Beef. And so he's Officer Beef.
He's Officer Beef.
And that's a thing on the show, too, for people that have been listening to the show for a while. And Jimmy Sexton is a real guy. That really happened. And that woman, Emily, is now part of the canon and the lore of the program. Because I've asked them 1,000,000 times. Is it annoying, John, that they call you?
What?
Is that annoying how much they call you?
Yeah, it's why I don't keep my phone turned on. I mean, I don't want to. Got a barking dog. I don't want it to keep ringing.
And John answered and I answered it in the middle of the show, made a piece of the show. Good instincts. How many people do you think found that? Because thousands will listen to the show, found that kind of amusing, a little amusing anecdote. Or thought to themselves, why do I listen to this complete and total imbecile? And I do mean imbecile.
Well, I have to repeat myself. You've had quite a career.
And on that note, we love you. God bless. G to the B to the O. Go Lady Vols tonight. Lady Vols win at Mississippi tonight. A team ranked one spot ahead of them. Yes or no?
Yes.
You look really convinced. We love you. Peace. God bless. All right. Let's run it back today, shall we? Emily got on the air today. What was her name? Was it Emily?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I'm so roached. I have no idea. Hang on. Officer Beef, hang on. We're still on Periscope over there. The final blow was about 4 days later, and the thing I'm having a conversation, therapy, if you will. Walking out there, I needed confirmation from another award-winning, thought-provoking, action-packed edition of the Tony Basilio Show is coming up next. Tips are always appreciated here at TonyBasilio.com, home of the Tony Basilio Show.